So many people went. In moments, how many? So anyway, so how should the liberated soul view such incidents? Bolo? Practical application of the philosophy. See, one mic is there, one mic is there. That means both of you have to speak.
Online?
We'll come to online, just hold on.
More connected to the material world.
Yeah. जल्दी बोलो, आगे बढ़ना है.
Did soul see that just simply a change of body, simply a change of dress? That has happened, nothing else.
Okay, fine. बोल.
Serving Krishna. If his service involves some things, then he will not be affected actually, but he will take some action which shows that he is affected, and he will do the needful for progress of his service. So Prabhupada also was there that time. So he did meet many people, and so he is not getting affected, but he can use for preaching Krishna consciousness.
Okay, fine. Okay, we'll take one answer online. Anybody wants to comment?
Prabhuji, may I?
Okay, go ahead.
Prabhuji, if you see that the liberated soul sees the layers of reality, like material cause also, like okay, engineering fail hoga, human error hoga, weather hoga, or some karmic law also, some unseen reactions that are unfolding. Or the Supreme Lord's supervision also, when Krishna says in the Bhagavad Gita, Ishvara Sarva Bhutanam Hridesha Arjuna Tishtati. But none of these will even cancel the other. Like seeing the karma does not mean denying the responsibility or neglecting some safety. Seeing God's will does not mean that just calling it the tragedy as good. But at a level does not think that, okay, means he doesn't think that, okay, they deserved it, or this is just karma, who cares, or God is cruel. No, that vision is completely condemned in our, you can say, hard-heartedness, Aruna Chitta, when we say that. And Prabhupada also has emphasized that a devotee is very soft-hearted. So we see the correct liberated vision is that we should have deep compassion for the suffering. And internally, the liberated soul will respond exactly like a saint. So sorrow for the victims, empathy for the family, prayers for the departed, or even some service or some relief, paradukha dukhi. That way, Prabhuji.
Right, okay, thank you. Those are good points. Yes, so as we were reading Vishwanath Chakravarti's commentary on the 11th chapter, 11th verse yesterday. But the liberated person is not bound while doing these activities, even though he may experience a little joy or sorrow, as in bhaditanu vritti. This is because he's detached. So as Mataji has rightly pointed out, so Vaishnava is never hard-hearted. So Vaishnava is not hard-hearted. That goes against the very symptom of a devotee. So a devotee is paradukha dukhi, that means he empathizes with others' suffering. And so therefore, the devotee, he always feels for others' suffering. Though philosophically he understands everything perfectly, but still it does not make him hard-hearted. That is not a Vaishnava. The process of devotional service is supposed to make the heart soft. And so when he sees others suffering, he feels for it. But at the same time, he understands the situation perfectly from a Shastric viewpoint, and he may do the needful, and at the same time carry on with his own devotional service. So these are some important points on that. And so therefore, we find that just like, okay, Just like we have the example in the Bhagavatam of Dhruva Maharaj. Dhruva Maharaj and his brother Uttam. So when Uttam was killed by the Yakshas, so Dhruva Maharaj could have thought, well, that's Krishna's plan, that was his karma, he could have thought all these philosophical things. But yet what did Dhruva Maharaj do? Yes, as a king, he did his duty, he fought against the Yakshas. And so that's what is required to be done. Whatever is required to be done needs to be done. And at the same time, of course, in the same pastime we can see that even for a liberated soul like Dhruva Maharaj, when he was affected by, when he began fighting with those yakshas, as Srila Prabhupada explains in those purports, he got carried away by the anger towards one yaksha. He got carried away by the anger, and as a result, he started killing all the other yakshas. And so that's the danger of the material atmosphere. The material atmosphere means three gunas. So one can easily be carried away by the three gunas. See, what I'm noticing is, all those who have laptops, you're busy seeing the screen, and as if there's no class going on here. If the laptop is such a distraction, it is better to close it. So we are discussing something very elevated, but here there is so much of impersonal behavior. So then better have class online then if you want to be so impersonal. So if you want to do your own things, take your laptop and do your own things. So there is an etiquette that is supposed to be followed in the classroom. Of course, those who are online, we don't know anything what they're doing. Nor do we
Rapt attention. We are in rapt attention, at least in your class.
So
Vipralamba bhav, Prabhu. Vipralamba bhav.
Prabhuji, you can ask question actually. Then you will understand who is doing what.
So anyway, I'm
You should
hearing
ask question.
we're trying to come to the liberated platform. I have no issues.
I am here personally for every class with all my attention.
Right.
Here I have to go and I have to speak to me. So I'm very glad.
No problem. I mean, I noticed everyone with laptop doing the same thing.
I don't know what others.
Glued to the screen.
We have come here, bro.
Oh yes. Thank you for coming.
We are praying with others also.
Okay, we're going ahead now. You had something important to say, Prabhu. Yes.
So this is a first canto 8 chapter 4th verse. When Lord Sri Krishna pacifies all the dead members, means those who are lamenting for the death of the Kuru members. So then the verse comes.
This is what?
184.
184. Okay.
So that is Santavayam Asha Munibhir Hat Bandhun Sucharpitan Bhuteshu Kalasya Gatim Darshayan Na Pratikriyam. So he says that, citing the stringent law of the Almighty and their reactions upon living being, Lord Sri Krishna and the Munis began to pacify those who were shocked and affected. So in that purport, Prabhupada writes that, in last he writes, that is the summary of pacifying measures of those affected by the reaction of stringent laws of material laws. exhibited in the form of birth, death, old age and disease, which are insoluble factors of material existence. The victim of war, namely the family members of Kurus, were lamenting the problems of death, and the Lord pacified them on this basis of knowledge. Basically, these things only, the stringent laws of nature.
Yes.
So Lord is pacifying.
Yes.
That you cannot do pratikar of these things.
Yes, but at the same time we find that the Lord is not just being hard-hearted, but
He is also participating in weeping and crying.
yes, he is also participating and he is also trying to pacify them. Yes, so that's the Supreme Lord showing through his own example, and that's the example which the Vaishnavas need to emulate. And so, even if it is a materialistic person, so it's not that we just be hard-hearted, say, okay, he was not body, soul, mar gaya to kya? So, that would be improper. So, we have to empathize and exhibit that mood of compassion, and at the same time try to give them the real knowledge. So, that's being personal. As we find that even Lord Varadev, when he was fighting with Hiranyaksha, so when Hiranyaksha was blaspheming the Lord, there's a whole verse which talks about the Lord's feelings, and Srila Prabhupada gives a beautiful purport to that. How the Lord also felt disgusted, sad at what Hiranyaksha was saying. Of course, it was he was feeling pity because his child is behaving improperly, so that is the mood. But in the purport, Srila Prabhupada emphasized the point that how the Lord has feelings, and that's the point. And so therefore, that's what we are talking about. Even the liberated soul, what to speak of the Lord, even the liberated soul definitely has feelings, And so therefore we find, as we read yesterday, Jad Bharat also, when he was insulted by Maharaj Raghugana, some waves of dissatisfaction. So some feelings will definitely be there, whether it is Jad Bharat or whether it is Dhruva Maharaj or whether it is Arjuna on the death of Abhimanyu. Everywhere we find the feelings are there, but then they keep the feelings aside and go on with their duty. They don't compromise the duty. So that is the important point. And that's what we are talking about, the liberated soul, the symptoms of the liberated soul. So it is not that he just becomes feelingless, no feelings. The feelings may be there, but duty continues. Yes, bro.
Even Satyajit got killed.
Satyajit, yes, good. That's a good example.
Also, even he not respected the Lord, he is there to as a perform his duty as a son-in-law.
That was in Varanasi. Krishna personally went to Varanasi and to pacify Satyabhama and yes.
And the second example, when one of the Srila Bhaktivedanta Thakur's disciple left his body, he is criticizing Srila Prabhupada. And Srila Prabhupada disciple told this happened. So Prabhupada told, don't be offensive, he is a great soul. So they have that higher vision. That how
Correct.
they contributed in the mission of Srila Bhaktivedanta Thakur.
Correct. Yes.
So, can you give example of when in Srinivas Acharya's house his son died?
Correct. Srivas Thakur.
Srivas Thakur's house his son died, and then how Chaitanya Mahaprabhu also equally showed so much compassion. Is this example apt over here?
Yes, very nice, very appropriate example. How Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, he also started weeping actually, it's mentioned. Mahaprabhu started weeping that this child has died. Of course, Srivas Thakur, personal associate of the Lord, but definitely Mahaprabhu, even though Srivas Thakur didn't want to tell the news, but later on some other devotees said and how Mahaprabhu reacted. Yes, that's also a good example.
More examples. When Uddhava is remembered by Krishna, when Duryodhana is killed, in that verse it's there that Lord was not very happy. Even Duryodhana being killed by Bhima, Lord felt not so happy. That is number one. And one more is, I have missed it now. Okay.
Okay, fine. Okay, let's go ahead. 11th canto, 11th chapter, verses 12 to 13.
One question.
What's that?
question.
Bolo.
So, because the soul is infinite, soul is always in continuum, and so if something suddenly is lost, then is that because of why? Because the soul never wants to leave anyone, and this sudden temporary disappearance causes pain as a natural phenomenon for the realized soul. The
So what's the question? I couldn't get the question.
See, I'm thinking to understand why liberated soul also feels sorrow is because he's always in continuum. He does. I mean, if you see in Vaikuntha, everyone is together, never leaving. This leaving thing doesn't happen. Whereas here, suddenly when that happens, he also feels pain, whatever the body is made up of, bad or good or whatever. Is that how one can understand why he feels pain? That not because of technically the body being lost, but because of a soul not visible anymore.
Right. So it's basically first of all, the devotee is a person. Person means feelings. Soul means feelings. That's the first point. And secondly, this may not be material lamentation like that of a materialistic person, but it is empathizing with the sorrow of others. That's the basic quality of a Vaishnava, paradukha dukhi. So he sees others are suffering due to that particular incident, then Vaishnava, he also feels for that. He also feels for the others who are feeling that separation, of course, though it may be on a material platform, they may be on a material platform, but still the Vaishnava, he feels for them. He feels for them, and therefore he also feels sorrow. Yes, it's not whether the point of whether soul was visible, not visible, soul is not visible, but basically it is a point of feeling for others' suffering.
Question, like some leaders are very inimical to our movement, not good, not favorable.
Political leaders.
So we should follow the principle given by the scripture and what we discuss. This is my question.
What principles?
Praying for them or offering or praying or doing kirtan, it's okay. Because till they are alive, they are not helped our mission. So, please can you...
Yes, so of course, so even though they may have been inimical or whatever, but ultimately we see the soul as part and parcel of Krishna. That is our vision. Yes. So just like in the case of Ravana, when Ravana was killed by Lord Ram, Vibhishan did not want to do the last rites because he was so inimical, Ravan. But still, Lord Ram told him, no, you must do. Yes, the reason is, of course, in that case, Lord Ram personally killed, so therefore he has been purified of all the contamination. But in any case, a Vaishnava, he sees the soul as part and parcel of Krishna. And so therefore, whoever that person may be, but we can always pray that that soul gets a better destination and hopefully sometime come to devotional service. By the prayers of some Vaishnavas, maybe that soul will come someday. That volume is little less. Uska volume. Volume, uska volume.
Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna. So, related to the temple, just 3 or 4 days before Mrs. Sethi left her body, her husband contributed a lot in Jihu temple construction. So Maharaj gave a recent class on 26 January. So in Kirtan, Maharaj specifically told, let's offer this Kirtan for the Mrs. Sethi for her services to Srila Prabhupada. And another thing that when the temporary shed got demolished in Juhu, that time Mr. Thackeray helped a lot. So in his last ride, many devotees went to do Sankirtan just to reciprocate. So that is a reciprocation of Lord with them.
Right.
To devotees.
Yes, of course, a Vaishnava is grateful for any small help anyone has given. And what to speak of Mr. Sethi? Srila Prabhupada said that Krishna is building a house for you in Vaikuntha. That was Prabhupada's statement about Mr. Sethi. So, he is not an ordinary person. So, that's... But of course, a Vaishnava is always seeing the connection of every soul to the Supreme Lord. And any help if somebody has done, yes, a Vaishnava is grateful for that. Okay, let's proceed, 12 and 13. Madhusya Prabhu came by flight. Good. So then only one person is remaining. Devotee is bold. Any case. Okay. Prakriti stopya samsakto yathakam savita nilaha vaisharadhyekshaya sanga shitaya chinna samshayah pratibuddha iva swapnan nanatvad vinivartate. Although the sky or space is the resting place of everything, the sky does not mix with anything, nor is it entangled. Similarly, the sun is not at all attached to the water in which it is reflected within innumerable reservoirs. And the mighty wind blowing everywhere is not affected by the innumerable aromas and atmospheres through which it passes. In the same way, a self-realized soul is completely detached from the material body and the material world around it. He is like a person who has awakened and arisen from a dream. With expert vision sharpened by detachment, the self-realized soul cuts all doubts to pieces through knowledge of the self and completely withdraws his consciousness from the expansion of material variety. Purport. According to Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur, a self-realized soul cuts all doubts to pieces by direct experience of his true spiritual identity. What is the verse from the Bhagavatam? When one becomes self-realized, all doubts are cut. Bhidyanti. Yes. So, the Supreme Personality of God is Lord Krishna. And there is no possibility of any existence separate from Lord Krishna. Such expert knowledge cuts all doubts to pieces. And then the example of the sky, the sun or the wind, so that analogy is there. So, nanatva or material variety refers to one's material body, the bodies of others, and unlimited paraphernalia for bodily sense gratification, both physical and mental. By awakening to Krishna consciousness, one completely retires from illusory sense gratification and becomes absorbed in the progressive realization of the soul situated within the body. Okay. And then he's given the example of the two birds on the tree. Further down, if one turns one's face to the Lord, recognizing one's eternal dependence on Him, there will be no further suffering or anxiety, even though one is still situated within the material world. The unlimited experiences of material objects only increase one's anxiety, whereas perception of the absolute truth, Sri Krishna, immediately brings one to the platform of peace. Thus, one who is intelligent retires from the world of matter and becomes a fully self-realized Krishna-conscious person. So here, Vishwanath Thakur is writing, how does the liberated person roam about? Answer is, freed from the qualities of the body, like lamentation, illusion, he roams about with the functions of prana, senses, mind and intelligence, free of desire.
are cut for themselves, but they cut others' doubts by their words.
Correct.
That was tapo dussam srujya satsu sajjeta buddhiman. Santa eva shiddanti mano vyasam. An intelligent person should therefore reject all bad associations.
This is which verse?
11:26.
11:26.6.
This is exactly cutting the mind's attachments. An intelligent person should therefore reject all bad association and instead take up the association of saintly devotees, whose words cut off the excessive attachments of one's mind.
Yes.
So in this purport, just 2 lines purport, that only the devotees can cut this attachment. Pious acts, visiting holy places, worship of the devatas, knowledge of the scripture cannot do this to same extent.
Nice. Correct. Yes, so that's what that's what Srila Prabhupada did by his words. He cut so many doubts of so many people to pieces. Anyway, it just reminded me of one pastime. There's one Srila Prabhupada's disciple, Mahabuddhi Prabhu. So he tells this pastime. I'm not remembering all the details, but then when he just came to the movement, new person. So once some devotees, they said, Srila Prabhupada is giving darshan, would you like to come? Okay, fine. So he went and sat in the darshan. And when he went there, he saw that there were no new people. He was the only new person. All others were devotees. So anyways, he sat. And as he sat, then Srila Prabhupada, he started looking at him and speaking. And in his mind, he had so many questions. And Srila Prabhupada, as he was speaking to all the devotees, but it was targeted at him. And as he was speaking, as Srila Prabhupada was speaking, one by one, all his questions were getting answered. He tells all the details, now I'm forgetting all that. But he tells how one by one, exactly whatever doubts and questions he had, Srila Prabhupada was answering them. And finally, and one last doubt he had, and that is, of course, he was thinking, oh, this Swamiji, he knows everything about what all doubts I had, he knows everything about me. But surely, he does not know my future. He was thinking like that. And then as he was thinking that, then Srila Prabhupada said something, I'm forgetting. Srila Prabhupada said something which exactly answered his question. And then he thought, oh, this Swamiji knows everything. No, this I heard in these, Yes. You heard it? This was Juhu's 40th anniversary. That time these devotees were sharing their realizations. So in that he mentions how he came to devotional service and how he surrendered to Srila Prabhupada. So very amazing. So that's how Srila Prabhupada cut to pieces the doubts.
Maybe he had long hair and Prabhupada was speaking about Kali Yuga Santam. Something.
Correct. Yes, something like that, yes. Correct. Now I'm remembering. When he was thinking about the future, so then Prabhupada quoted from the 12th canto of the Bhagavatam that, yes, in Kali Yuga people will have long hair, and he had long hair at that time. Yes, correct. Okay, fine. 14th verse. Yasya syurvita sankalpa pranendriya nanodhiyam vrittaya sa vinirmukto dehasto pihi tadgune. A person is considered to be completely liberated from the gross and subtle material bodies when all the functions of his vital energy, senses, mind and intelligence are performed without material desire. Such a person, although situated within the body, is not entangled.
also a lot kings and big here.
For different purposes.
But those people are not coming here. They are having only why not? They have commandos. Lot of people have Mumbai. They don't have
Okay, fine. So, 15th verse, we will read Vishwanath Chakravarti's commentary. How is the liberated person to be recognized? 3 verses give easily recognized qualities. The liberated person, no, where are we? Sorry, 14th. Okay, 14th, okay. Okay, 14th we read actually. Okay, fine. We'll go to 15th. Okay. 15. Yasyatma himsyate himsre yena kinchid yadrichaya archyate va kvachit tatra navyati kriyate buddha. Sometimes for no apparent reason one's body is attacked by cruel people or violent animals. At other times and other places one will suddenly be offered great respect or worship. One who becomes neither angry when attacked nor satisfied when worshipped is actually intelligent. Right, as in the purport is mentioned, in this verse the Lord describes symptoms by which it is very easy to recognize a saintly person. For a normal person becomes furious when criticized or attacked, and overwhelmed with joy when glorified by others. There is a similar statement by Yajnavalkya to the effect that one who is actually intelligent does not become angry though pricked with thorns, and does not become satisfied at heart merely by being worshipped with auspicious paraphernalia such as sandalwood. So yes, so same thing actually, Vishwanath Chakravarti writes exactly the same thing. So these 3 verses give easily recognized qualities. The liberated person whose body is attacked by the wicked, by shoes or fists, or without reason, is worshipped with garland and sandalwood, is not disturbed. He does not become angry at the violent person or happy with the gentleman. And then quoting from Yajnavalkya. So these are similar to the symptoms of the Sthita Prajna mentioned in the 2nd chapter of the Gita. Yeah, Sukeshu Anudvigna Magana, Dukkeshu Vigata Spriha. So almost those same types of symptoms here. So anyone who is spiritually advanced, then he is not affected on the bodily platform. So just like again Jad Bharat, even though Maharaj Raghuna criticized, he said, you're criticizing, but all your sarcastic words are only meant for body. But I'm not this body. So, to the degree one is free from the bodily misconception, then to that degree one will not be affected by whatever happens to the body. 17. Na kurya na badet kinchan na dhyayet sadva sadhuva atma ramo naya vritya vicharech jadavan muni. Okay, read. We missed one verse. Sorry. Okay, sorry. Na stuvita na nindeta kurvata sadva sadhuva vadato guna doshabhyam varjita samadrin muni. Okay, read.
A saintly sage sees with equal vision and therefore is not affected by that which is materially good or bad. Indeed, although he observes others performing good and bad work and speaking properly and improperly, the sage does not praise or criticize anyone.
And read next one also.
For the purpose of maintaining his body, a liberated sage should not act, speak or contemplate in terms of material good or bad. Rather, he should be detached in all material circumstances and taking pleasure in self-realization. He should wander about engaged in this liberated lifestyle, appearing like a retarded person to outsiders.
So basically, he is not affected by the dualities of material, good, bad, honor, dishonor. So all these dualities don't affect him too much. Rather, he should be Atma Ramo. So the main thing is taking pleasure in self-realization. Then he can be Jadavat. Jadavat Muni. So both the things, of course, They are related. So to the degree one is finding pleasure in Krishna consciousness, then to that degree one will not be affected by the material circumstances. And to the degree one is not sufficiently Krishna conscious, then to that degree one will be on the bodily concept, then one will be so much affected by the dualities of material existence. And so therefore, the chitta, the consciousness, has to be fixed on Krishna. Okay, purport. According to Sri Jiva Goswami, this verse describes a type of discipline recommended for the Jnana yogis who by intelligence try to understand that they are not their material bodies. One who is engaged in the devotional service of the Lord, however, accepts and rejects material things in terms of their usefulness in the loving service of Lord Krishna. One who is trying to preach Krishna consciousness should be seen as very intelligent and not jadavat or stunted as described here. Although a devotee of the Lord does not act, speak or contemplate for his personal sense gratification, he remains very busy working, speaking and meditating in the devotional service of the Lord. The devotee makes elaborate plans to engage all the fallen souls in Lord Krishna's service so they can be purified and go back home, back to Godhead. Merely rejecting material things is not perfect consciousness. One must see everything as the property of the Lord and meant for the Lord's pleasure. One busily engaged in spreading the Krishna consciousness movement has no time to make material distinctions and thus automatically comes to the liberated platform. Okay, so we cannot totally be like Jadavat. So just like Jad Bharat, he was like Jad. And similarly we have the example of, yes, Rishabdev. He also was like that. So, of course, Rishabdev, no clothes, nothing, just roaming around like animals. So if we try to imitate, then most of our centers may have to close down. So we can't imitate this because we are preaching movement and neither are we on that platform. We can't imitate the avduts and these people. So we have to, of course, follow the example of our acharyas and we have to do what is, as is being mentioned over here, accepts and reject material things in terms of the usefulness in the loving service of Lord Krishna. So we don't reject anything, but if something is useful in Krishna consciousness, then we use it. We had a whole discussion on Yukta Vairagya. So that's an important point. So we cannot just imitate these great souls, liberated souls who are behaving in this fashion, but we have to follow the example that has been set by our own acharyas. But the important point is the attitude. The important point is the attitude of detachment from the bodily misconception and being fixed in one's own practices of devotional service. So that is what is important.
So we see here even in Ved Vyasa, in first canto also, Prabhupada mentions that Ved Vyasa is also liberated like Sukadeva Goswami, but he is in household life, and so he is doing that duty of household life. So when similar thing happens even in preaching also. So those were preachers. So they may be using the facilities also. So then the question comes, here the examples are given of liberated soul. He should not feel hurt if something is hurting. He should not act also. Now this Lord Krishna is giving the symptom of liberated person. But we also see like Bhaktivedanta Thakur or Ved Vyasa. So they are also living a life of liberated, but they are living in the world and also acting. So that example is not given here. That example is not given here. Generally, that example will more suitable to be given other than this.
So, here Krishna is speaking about the symptoms of a liberated person. The symptoms remain the same, but the application varies.
So that's what I'm saying. Symptom also changes, no, Prabhuji?
How symptom changes?
Here it said that means he is not speaking and he is speaking. And even it is seen that they are criticizing. So that also symptom changes, no? Means symptom means what? How he is acting. So he may be acting for higher purpose. But then it's changing. Symptoms are seen different. One is acting, one is not acting.
So see, what Krishna is saying, why he does not speak, why he does not criticize, why he does not do these activities? So what is meant by this? So when it is said here that for the purpose, see what is mentioned here. Na kuryan na vadet kinchit na dhyayet sadhu asadhuva atma rama. So, in the translation, for the purpose of maintaining his body, you see that? For the purpose of maintaining his body, a liberated sage should not act, speak, contemplate in terms of material good or bad. Rather, he should be detached in all material circumstances. So you're talking about the modern acharyas. So they may not be exactly following this, but whatever they do, so they may be speaking, they may be criticizing, they may be doing these things, but for what do they do? For what?
For Krishna consciousness.
That is the point. Not for themselves. It is for Krishna's pleasure. So, but here what Krishna is saying, they don't do these things for themselves, for maintaining their own bodies. So that always remains same. So whatever a devotee does, he doesn't do for himself. He does for Krishna's pleasure, for Krishna's service. For the sake of Krishna's service, then he is ready to do anything. He is ready to speak, he is ready to criticize, praise, anything he can do that is conducive for Krishna's service. So just like Shukdev Goswami. Shukdev Goswami is also criticizing, correct? In Bhagavatam, how much criticism?
Yes.
So much criticism. Dogs, hogs, camels, asses. And what to speak of Srila Prabhupada? Fools, rascals. Srila Prabhupada was heavily criticizing. In one lecture, Prabhupada says, the government may take some action against me. So, but why he was doing? Not for himself. It is for educating others, teaching others. For that purpose he is doing. Just like Madhvacharya, so heavy against Mayavadis. So it's nothing for themselves. So what Krishna is saying is that for themselves they don't do all these things. Okay,
it also probably differs on the level of advancement. Like sometimes Prabhupada says you cannot chant like Haridas Thakur.
Correct.
It's a very difficult.
Yes. So we can't imitate, follow in footsteps. Can't imitate Haridas Thakur, nor can we imitate Srila Prabhupada in his criticism. Srila Prabhupada himself said, I'm old man, and so I can speak anything, nobody will take it very seriously. Old man, small children, they can speak anything, nobody will take very seriously. Of course, Srila Prabhupada was not just old man, he was empowered acharya, so full of compassion. So it's different. So we cannot imitate. So yes, the point is correct. So we cannot imitate the liberated souls. So I have to know what is my level and act accordingly. Therefore, we have to follow in the footsteps of the acharyas, take guidance and act accordingly. So there's no question of imitating. But we have to understand the principle. And the principle is, so one thing is we have to know what is ideal. And we have to know what is the level we have to come to. So definitely, we all want to rise above the bodily concept, come on the liberated platform, come to the platform of loving Krishna. So that's our goal. But it's not an overnight process, so it's a gradual process. So gradually one has to proceed and act according to one's level. Yes, bro.
Like Mahaprabhu becoming angry at Jagai Madai, Prabhupada writes that in 2-3 places in purport. That time humility is not supposed to be exercised.
Yes.
So same case with Jiva Goswami defending.
Correct.
So
yes.
One lecture my Guru Maharaj made a statement quoting all these examples of Srila Prabhupada calling rascal and also. He says that actually to boldly defend the truth is humble service to the absolute truth.
Correct.
Like that. So it's about
Yes, so
serving the
that's a
truth.
service. So as a service, they do it out of compassion for educating others. Okay, let's proceed now. 18. Shabda Brahmani Nishnato na Nishnayat Pare Yadi Shramastasya Shrama Phalo Hi Adhinam Ivarakshata.
If through meticulous study one becomes expert in reading Vedic literature, but makes no endeavor to fix one's mind on the Supreme Personality of Godhead, then one's endeavor is certainly like that of a man who works very hard to take care of a cow that gives no milk. In other words, the fruit of one's laborious study of Vedic knowledge will simply be the labor itself. There will be no other tangible result.
So should one take care of a cow that doesn't give milk or no? We should take care, no? Then why Krishna is saying this? Huh? What is the context? So yes, it is. So if one takes this out of context, one can see Krishna says, don't take care of cows who don't give milk. See, so much misinterpretation can take place. If one doesn't understand the context and... But at a certain point of time it's going to stop, no? वो माइक ले लो भाई, वो ऑनलाइन वाले बोले.
Because the cow, mother cow is meant like a symbiotic. Human and cows are symbiotic. Means one will serve and she will also give the milk as feeling like humans and calves. They are the children of the cow, and we call the mother cow.
Correct.
So mother cow she gives the milk out of affection and also as a biological bodily nature.
Correct.
So now they are becoming vegan, no milk. Simply care of cow. So later they'll send the cow for slaughter also, because they will not find anything from the cow.
Correct. Yes.
So therefore Prabhupada says the miracle food. Without milk, then how they will be valuing the cow?
Correct.
So human has to value something. In everything human has to value. Like he goes to guru to get knowledge. He does business to earn money. So he cares for cow to get the milk, so that he can do yagya and other things.
Correct.
Not to become vegan. No, milk also. Ghee, how will you put? No, ghee is most important. That is there, but cow dung you cannot eat, na. First human has to worry about his eating, na. Livelihood is also important. So that is another thing. People are worried about cow dung. Milk is the most important product. Most important. Where we are quoting from?
See what Krishna is speaking about and what we are discussing now.
So Nanda Maharaj is not glorified the cow dung. He is glorified for the milk and the ghee. So we are making our own philosophies actually.
This is how deviations take place.
No, Prabhuji. Prabhupada's purport I can show. Prabhupada's writing, cow production is increasing the milk.
No, whatever you say is correct, but the topic of discussion is something else. Krishna is only using that as analogy. That is not the subject matter. The subject matter is liberated soul. Liberated soul is neither interested in cow dung.
He is interested in milk.
Something else about cows?
When I had read long back, I was also... So, even if in analogy, still the Lord is Gopal and so many names are there on the cows. So, even in analogy, why should Lord use it?
Okay, for that...
Because it will be misunderstood later.
Correct. So for that, let us read the purport and see what the acharyas are saying about this analogy. Okay. So in the purport, Srila Vishwanath Thakur explains that the word Pare, the supreme in this verse, indicates the supreme personality of Godhead, rather than the impersonal Brahman, because Lord Krishna, the speaker of these instructions, make references in later verses to his personality as the Supreme. Okay, so here the word Pare is saying, refers to the Supreme Lord as a person. So now the analogy of the cow in the next paragraph. It requires great endeavor to take care of a cow. One must either grow food grains to feed the cow or maintain suitable pastures. If the pasture is not properly maintained, poisonous weeds will grow or snakes will multiply, there will be danger. Cows are infected by many types of diseases and bugs and must be regularly cleaned, disinfected. Similarly, fences must be maintained around the cow pasture, and there is even more work to be done. If the cow gives no milk, however, then one certainly performs hard labor with no tangible result. Laborious effort is also required to learn the Sanskrit language well enough to discern the subtle and esoteric meaning of the Vedic mantras. If after such great labor one does not understand the spiritual body of the Supreme Personality of Godhead, which is the source of all happiness in life, and if one does not surrender to the Lord as the supreme shelter of all things, then one has certainly labored hard with no tangible result other than his own labor. Even a liberated soul who has given up the bodily concept of life will fall down if he does not take shelter of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Same thing, Aruya Krishrena Parampadam. So the same thing there, Aruya Krishrena. Krishrena means what? Great endeavor. They perform great endeavor for what? Parampadam, to achieve the Parampadam. Of course, for them the Parampadam is impersonal Brahman. But it's not easy job for them. They perform so much tapasya to achieve Parampadam. But still, patanti adha. So that means what is the gain? After so much of endeavor they have achieved, the impersonal Brahman, but they fall down. So then what have they gained? So why, if he does not take shelter of the Supreme Personality of Godhead? The word nishnata or expert indicates that one must ultimately achieve the goal of life, otherwise one is not expert. Prema Povarto Mahan, that is the ultimate goal which one needs to attain. Okay, now let's see what Vishwanath Thakur says. So, wait, I'm just reading this. Okay, here he says, he is like a person, if one is skillful in knowing Vedic scriptures and Brahman but not skillful in devotion to the Supreme Lord, the result of one's efforts is nullified. He is like a person desiring milk who maintains a cow which does not bear calves. This is how he translates it. He is like a person desiring milk who maintains a cow which does not bear calves. Of course, when the cow does not bear calves, that means no milk also, no? That means no milk. So similar meaning. Person desiring milk who maintains a cow which does not bear calves. Okay, so, unrealistic expectation. Any case. So,
Tukaram Maharaj's wife's example. Tukaram Maharaj's wife's example.
What you're saying? Tukaram Maharaj, what example?
Tukaram Maharaj's wife's example.
What is that?
She used to keep buffaloes because her mother has given it and she never used to give milk. So Tukaram Maharaj used to tease her.
Okay, that was buffalo anyways. Okay. So anyway, here the point is that if one is studying the scriptures and doing so many other things, but if one is not coming to the point of loving the Supreme Lord, then all that is useless labor. So the analogy basically is that even if one takes care of the cow that is not giving milk, so in one sense it is useless labor, no? From the point of view of milk, it is useless labor. But then there is other gain also. There is other gain that is to be accepted. But from the point of view of milk, there is no gain. That is the point. So anyway, we should not stretch analogies a little too much. So analogy has certain limitations and we should accept the analogy for that. Give him the mic. उसको ऑन करो.
Krishna. From that statement of Vishnu Thakur, it seems the analogy means that he is expecting milk from a cow who hasn't yet given a calf. So it's like an unrealistic thing. That analogy is saying. So that means it's if you are expecting some perfection from knowledge and all, then it's completely unrealistic. That if you are not surrendered to Lord.
See, in his, that was the translation, in his commentary he says, his efforts do not result in the highest goal, just as it is useless to maintain a cow which has not given birth for a long time, though one desires milk. That's what he says. Yes. So basically, has not given birth to a calf, but still one is desiring milk. So
it's an unrealistic thing.
Yes, it's unrealistic.
So if someone is entering for Vedic this knowledge, this knowledge, but he is not surrendered to the Lord, then it's completely unrealistic thing.
Yes, agreed.
About surrender, before surrender, the personality of Godhead has to be accepted. Next step is surrender. So he is talking about if you just understand Brahman, impersonal realization, that is like, because once one understands personality, there is nothing other than surrender.
Right. So just like here also, Vishnu Chakravarti says, if he is expert in knowledge of the Vedic scriptures and the impersonal Brahman, which are praised in the scriptures, but does not become expert in bhakti to the Supreme Lord. So of course, bhakti may ultimately means surrender only. Yes. He does not become expert in bhakti to the Supreme Lord, who is superior to the scriptures and Brahman, his efforts are useless. The word nishnata means skillful. Skillfulness in relation to the Lord is thinking of the Lord with bhakti. So he may think of Brahman, he may think of other things, but if there is no bhakti, if there is no surrender, then what's the use? Without bhakti, the results of his efforts in sadhana are useless.
Prabhu, this applies to social cause also.
Okay, let's go to the next verse. Okay. Okay, 19. Gam dugdha doham asatem cha bharyam deham paradhinam asat prajam cha vittam tva atirti kritam angavacham hinam maya rakshati dukkha dukki.
My dear Buddha, that man is certainly most miserable who takes care of a cow that gives no milk, an unchaste wife, a body totally dependent on others, useless children or wealth not utilized for the right purpose. Similarly, one who studies Vedic knowledge devoid of my glories is also most miserable.
So basically, he doesn't know the purpose, not utilized for the right purpose. So here he's giving many analogies here about the cow that gives no milk, unchaste wife, body totally dependent on others. Yes. So all these analogies is given. In the purport it said, according to Srila Vishnu Chakravarti, this verse implies that all of the functions of the various senses are useless if they are not engaged in the glorification of the Lord. Indeed, the Avadhut Brahman previously stated to King Yadu that if the tongue is not controlled, one's entire program of sense control is a failure. One cannot control the tongue unless he vibrates the glories of the Lord. The example of the milkless cow is significant. A gentleman never kills a cow. And therefore, when a cow becomes sterile and no longer gives milk, one must engage in the laborious task of protecting her. Okay, so there is no controversy on that. So one must engage in the laborious task of protecting her, since no one will purchase a useless cow. For some time, the greedy owner of a sterile cow may continue thinking, I have already invested so much money in taking care of this cow, and certainly in the near future she will again become pregnant and give milk. But when this hope is proven futile, he becomes neglectful and indifferent to the health and safety of the animal. Because of such sinful neglect, he must suffer in the next life. After having already suffered because of the sterile cow in the present life. Okay, so one suffering is to take care of the sterile cow. And then if he neglects that sterile cow, then he has to suffer in the next life.
He has to take care.
Yes.
Some people
Yes. So there is no controversy over whether to take care or not. One has to take care, but it is a trouble, na? Ultimately it is a trouble. Yes, it is trouble.
So we should give him a shelter to those who want over.
Similarly, this is like that, what the scissor and what? Okay. Similarly, although man may discover that his wife is neither chaste nor affectionate, he may be so eager to get children that he goes on taking care of such a useless wife, thinking, I will teach my wife the religious duties of a chaste woman. By hearing historical examples of great women, surely her heart will change and she'll become a wonderful wife to me. Unfortunately, the unchaste wife in many cases does not change and also gives a man many useless children who are just as foolish and irreligious as she. Such children never give any happiness to the father, yet the father tediously labors to take care of them. So he has to take care. Also, one who has accumulated wealth by the mercy of God must be vigilant to give in charity to the right person and for the right cause. If such a right person or cause appears and one hesitates and selfishly does not give in charity, one loses his reputation and in the next life he'll be poverty stricken. One who fails to give properly in charity spends his life anxiously protecting his wealth, which ultimately brings him no fame or happiness. The previous examples are given to illustrate the uselessness of laboriously studying Vedic knowledge that does not glorify the Supreme Personality of Godhead. So that is also the reason why Narad Muni criticized? Yes, Vyasdev, for the same reason. So a lot of scriptures he has written, but there are three reasons, right? Three flaws in what Vyasdev did, which Narad Muni criticizes. What are they? Yes, that is the first one. Next? Yes, he has not glorified the Lord sufficiently. So because Vyasdev can say, yes, I did glorify in Puranas like Vishnu Puran and Padma Puran, I did glorify. So therefore then the second point is not sufficiently. And the third point is? Yes, not repetitively. Okay, you may have glorified also. Yes, in few places you may have glorified also, but it is not repetitive. It's not sufficient and not repetitive. So these are three reasons why Narad Muni criticizes me. Yes, yes. Not as the so some people may worship Vasudeva for the purpose of moksha. Yes, so he should not be presented as a means to attain. Correct. Yes. So yes. So therefore, so further down the purport, if however, okay, where are we? Okay, Srila Jiva Goswami comments that the spiritual vibration of the Vedas is meant to bring one to the lotus feet of the Supreme Lord Krishna. Many processes for achieving the supreme truth are recommended in Upanishads and other Vedic literatures, but because of their innumerable and seemingly contradictory explanations, commentaries and injunctions, one cannot achieve the absolute truth, the personality of Godhead, merely by reading such literature. If, however, one understands Sri Krishna to be the ultimate cause of all causes and reads the Upanishads and other Vedic literature as glorification of the Supreme Lord, then one can actually become fixed at the Lord's lotus feet. And then they're giving example. For example, His Divine Grace Srila Prabhupada translated and commented upon Sri Upanishad in such a way that it brings the reader closer to the lotus feet of Lord Krishna, as the only reliable boat by which to cross the turbulent ocean of material existence. Okay, so that should be, the goal should be achieved. Otherwise, it's simply useless labor.
So many times means devotees also think we need to read Panini grammar or some Nyaya Shastra. So that's why I'm asking this thing, because these are very dry actually, and even many devotees are nowadays they are endeavoring into reading like Karma Kanda literature also, just to support some anusthana and some dharmic process in ISKCON, make some anusthana. So now this is some purpose they are doing. So is it okay that they may want to understand more literatures? So this is means like a debatable topic. But again, I mean to say, when Krishna is mentioning here, कि a lot of endeavor will be there, and ultimately he does not understand the Lord. So while reading, going through all such things, one does not feel relish actually. One has to do a lot of endeavor.
It seems you have done some endeavor.
It is there, Prabhuji. It's dry actually.
That's what you're speaking with, some realization there.
That's why.
Okay, so we have the famous verse from the first canto, second chapter. What's that verse? What's the verse? Dharma svanushtita pumsa vishvaksena kadasuya na utpadyed yadiratim shrama evahi kevalam. So dharma svanushtita, dharma. So all these are different types of dharmas. So one can perform all those dharmas, no problem. But after performing all those dharmas, what should be the result? Vishvaksena katasuya rati. The rati for Krishna Katha, the rati for Krishna, the attraction towards Krishna, the attraction towards devotional service, all this should increase. Then all the dharmas are justified. But if after performing all those dharmas, there is no attraction towards Krishna, then it is shrama evahi kevalam. So therefore, and when will that rati towards Krishna increase? When will it increase? No, that is the process. Everyone is doing Shravanam Kirtanam. But when will that rati increase?
It's a service to Mahat, it is said, like one of them.
Yes, one of them is Shushushoshadhanasya Vasudeva Kada Ruchi Syan Mahat Sevaya Viprapunyatit. So by Mahat Seva, yes, by their grace and by blessings, that rati is going to increase. So ultimately, again this is discussed in Madhura Kadamini also, that the price for ruchi is nishtha. So nishtha means steadily performing devotional service. So when one steadily performs devotional service, whether one likes it or not, see, nishtha is before ruchi. That means one has to steadily perform even though one does not have taste. Correct? If one already has taste, what is the big deal? Then it's very easy, na? If somebody says, please take this rasgulla, I'll give you 5 rupees for eating. Big deal there. Unless one has diabetes. But Krishna's test is what? Even before the ruchi comes, you have to perform steady devotional service. That's the challenge. But when one goes to the challenge, then Krishna is ready to give the ruchi. The point is, the rati comes by Krishna's grace. We have to put our efforts to attract Krishna's grace. So when Krishna's grace is there, then one gets the rati. That is the way to get param drishtva nivartate, higher taste. So it comes by Krishna's grace. So therefore, the point is, all our efforts should attract Krishna's grace. That is the point. So that means, if all these things are done whimsically and do not attract Krishna's grace, then one cannot expect rati to come. Therefore, on the path of devotional service, our main goal is how to attract grace. That is our ultimate goal. Because we have quoted this verse many times, 18th chapter, 58th verse. What is that? 58. Mat chitta sarvadurgani mat prasadat tarishyasi mat prasadat. If one wants to cross over the obstacles of devotional service, mat prasadat, one has to attract grace. And that is the whole significant point of devotional service, which differs from all other paths. So on all other paths of karma, jnana, yoga, there's no grace there. It is all my endeavors. But on the path of bhakti, the most significant factor is grace. We put our efforts to attract grace. The well-known story of the sparrow trying to dry up the ocean. Correct? Impossible endeavor, but the endeavor attracts grace. That is the whole principle on the path of bhakti. So therefore, if we do activities which ultimately don't attract grace, then they will definitely become shrama eva hi kevalam. So therefore, on the path of bhakti, there is no question of doing things whimsically. Then it will be shrama eva kevalam, because it will not attract grace. So therefore, Srila Prabhupada hammered these points. Therefore, on the path of bhakti, the instructions of the spiritual master become life and soul. So then, whatever pleases Guru and Krishna, that is what is essential. And so therefore, if ultimately spiritual masters, spiritual authorities are not pleased by what we are doing, then we cannot attract grace. So so the principle applies to anything, whatever we do, whether it is learning Sanskrit or whether it is reading some other things or whatever we are doing. Ultimately, that is the principle. The principle is always the same. Yasya prasadat bhagavat prasado. That is the principle. So, so when His Holiness Bhaktivedanta Swami Maharaj asked Srila Prabhupada about studying Sanskrit, Srila Prabhupada said, no, there's no need. That's what Maharaj himself tells this pastime, correct? So that's what Srila Prabhupada directly told him. So finished. There is one other Western devotee who asked Srila Prabhupada, he was in India for some time, so he asked Srila Prabhupada, should I study Hindi? Should I learn Hindi? So Srila Prabhupada said, see, I already know Hindi and still I'm having tough time preaching in India. and you are American, what will you do? So don't waste time. Correct, yes. But he learned, yes. Yes. So the principle is the same. The principle, and we know the well-known pastime about that devotee who wanted to chant 64 rounds against the instruction of Prabhupada. Yes, Pedro. So like that. So therefore, on the path of bhakti, if we put our efforts in directions which don't attract mercy, then it will be like that cow.
This happens because the person has not developed the taste for Krishna and he wants to achieve something. Once you have developed the taste for Krishna, even if you are given like Karnopati, you are given a position of ministry, you will not accept.
But the point is what? When will the taste come?
Unless you give up all those useless.
That is the point. So
he has to have desire.
See,
not have achieved the taste, but desire attained.
Yes, desire may be there, but what is important is one has to follow the process by which that desire will be fulfilled.
That will be maintained.
Yes. And so the desire to attract grace, that is the most important. So if one does not attract grace, then everything will be shrama eva kevalam. There is no doubt on that point. So therefore, one's efforts must be in that direction. And that is why Krishna is giving all these examples here, to illustrate that if ultimately, if one does not attract the grace, one does not please Krishna, then all useless endeavors like the cow or the wife or all those. Yes, bro.
This Saiva Gokara, again there also this cow example come. So there what quality of cow is like compared to the donkey and cow, what is similarity?
Yes. So Srila Prabhupada explains this in one lecture. Anybody knows? What is it? Correct.
Cow is such a... I'm sorry to speak like that about
No,
cow,
but see, it is the intelligence that is compared there.
Exactly. Her discrimination is not dead. So sometimes she is not giving... Calf is dead actually, but they put some bhusa and appears like calf, so she starts giving milk. Seeing the dead calf also. So something like that.
So after all, animal, intelligence. So in that and that was also who's speaking? Yes, that was also Krishna only speaking. Yes. To whom? Yes, when... Yes.
That is in Kurukshetra to sages.
Yes, to Kurukshetra to sages, correct, yes. But that also Krishna only speaking.
Krishna
Yeah.
Even in Vella, when I go, I see that the cow recognizes, or the calf recognizes who is my mother in world. That is not with, I heard with buffaloes and others. So buffalo would be right example here, buffalo and donkey. A cow is quite intelligent. She knows everything.
See that... No, actually that instinct of attraction between child and mother is there in all species.
But buffaloes...
No,
calf,
even in buffalo.
they didn't drink milk of anybody.
Really?
I heard, yeah.
You're sure?
I heard this, but cow...
एक जन बोलो भाई. So in any case, see, that is one point. But the context in which Krishna is giving that example is in respect to this aspect. So after all, animal, right? So there are some aspects of animals which also indicate their intelligence, right? The animals are also expert in certain activities. Yes, the dog smelling and the vulture from a long distance and all those things. So every animal has certain instincts, certain things which they do very expertly. But as far as this intelligence is concerned, animal is animal. That is the point.
But I heard somewhere like cow is the most intelligent animal or somewhere.
That is there. But you cannot expect the cow to be as intelligent as human being, right?
But then why only cow and ass amongst all the animals?
So see, yes, that is Krishna's choice, and Krishna has given that. So there is no, there are certain things, there is no point in debating and stretching analogies.
Prabhuji, cow, one function is there. The calf, you take out the skin and you put the bhusa inside. None of the animal will consider that the calf is alive. But cow considers that he is alive, and that's why she gives milk. So there the verse says, Yasyatma buddhi kunupet. So identifying with the body and the wife and family. In the similar way, cow so much identified with the calf, even though he is dead, he will give milk because he is there.
Correct.
So that is even the donkey, he works hard without any benefit.
Yes.
So cow also gives milk because calf is alive.
Right. So basically the bodily misconception.
Ignorance is there.
That is being highlighted, and that's what Srila Prabhupada explains in that context.
Not about cow. Here they are writing that useless laborious studying of Vedic knowledge that does not glorify the Supreme Lord. So actually there is one verse in Bhagavatam which says that even Shukdev Goswami. So Janak Muni is asking.
What's your reference?
This is 179 verse only, translation. So even why did Shukdev Goswami take the trouble to undergo the study of such vast literature? So actually even labor was required for Shukdev Goswami to actually study this literature.
Correct.
So it's a less laborious task to even study Bhagavatam only.
Correct.
So why to go for anything else?
So ultimately the goal is what is important. What is the goal? That is important. So that is what we are discussing now. If the goal is not clear, then it is useless labor. Otherwise, labor is required everywhere, na? Without labor, one cannot achieve anything. So even to come to progress in devotional service, one has to make endeavor. So endeavor is required, but not useless endeavor. The endeavor should attract grace. That is the point.
Yes, Prabhuji. So, but there is a study endeavor also, which Prabhupada writes elsewhere. This is 7.73 Chaitanya Charitamrita. Sundar Shampu showed me this. So, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's spiritual master instructed him to study Srimad Bhagavatam regularly with scrutiny.
Correct.
To gradually become attached to chanting of Hare Krishna mantra.
Correct.
So it's not an easy thing to do scrutinizing.
Correct.
This is our founder-acharya. He
Yes.
is saying that.
Yes, definitely.
So this labor is enough. Why to go for so many other labors?
Yes, correct. So the purpose should be clear. Purpose should be clear. So ultimately whatever activity one is doing, the goal, the purpose should be very clear. And in devotional service, there is only one purpose. Yes, glorify Krishna, please Guru and Krishna. That is the ultimate goal. So ultimately, we are also studying Bhagavatam, we are studying the scriptures, ultimately because Srila Prabhupada wanted us to. So we are trying to please Srila Prabhupada, that's our only goal. Okay, so it's not to become big scholars or to show off our learning, none of that is our goal. Or it is not simply to get certificate also. So the main goal is to please Srila Prabhupada.
Project.
Hare Krishna.
Project. One point. His Holiness Chandramouli Swami Maharaj, he was telling that even Prabhupada wanted that this class is not.
Yes, yesterday you told in the Brahmachari class.
Yeah,
Brahmachari class.
now this, how to have clarity about, as you were mentioning about being very much scholarly. Now if someone is in the field for a long time, like.
Which field?
Just like for more than 15-20 years you are consistently giving classes, so you are thorough, you can quote from.
No. Don't put me in illusion.
I mean to say, so if that is the case throughout the day, if classes are supposed to go on, then certainly the preacher, they will be very much intelligent and they will learn a lot of things. So in that case, how do we discriminate between, as you are saying about being very scholarly and balancing? Because
Balancing between? When you say balance, there's balance between two things, right? So balancing between what?
Devotional thing, and as you mentioned just now that being scholarly is not the goal. So if the task or service is to serve in that field, then anyway they are not scholarly in other fields. Let's say someone may be.
Okay, I understood your point. So see, the point is again about the goal. See, we are studying scriptures not because I want to become a great scholar and people should recognize me as a great scholar. That is not the goal. The goal is what? The goal is because this is the service which has been given to me by Guru and Krishna. Therefore, I am trying to do that service. In the process, if I become a scholar, that is another thing. But that is not my goal, that is not my intention. My goal is to please Guru and Krishna. There is only one goal. And so, it is not that I want to become a scholar so that people recognize me, I become famous. That is not the goal. The goal is, okay, this service has been given to me, and while doing the service, if I become a scholar, then it's fine.
So one needs to endeavor in that direction. He will have to endeavor.
Endeavor is required in any field. If one wants to become expert in cooking, endeavor is required or no? Not required. Deity worship endeavor is required or no? In every field, book distribution endeavor is required or no? Every field endeavor is required.
I just ask because sometimes devotees they comment saying, "Oh, you want to be a scholar? You want to become scholar?" So if one has to teach, then one will have to study.
Yes, so that is fine. So the whole point is intention. On the path of devotional service, what matters the most is intention. With what intention I am doing something. So anya bilashita shunya. So if there is only one intention to please Guru and Krishna, then it is perfect. Otherwise, then it's a contamination. No? If I have any other intention for my own self-aggrandizement, for my own self-reputation, then that's a contamination in devotional service. But if if the goal is very clear, then it's fine.
I'm just asking, somebody is doing PhD to help.
Yeah, there are quite a few devotees who do it.
So then, so how to understand all these things?
No, we don't have to understand only. We don't have to. So we don't have to. So that is what. So if somebody. Yes, he has to come. So our process is very simple. Our process is very simple. You want to do PhD, you go to your spiritual authorities, they give sanction, you do PhD and be happy. Very simple. What is your comment?
Prabhuji, question also there.
First you comment on this.
Okay. So, His Grace Pavaneshwar Prabhu and His Grace Prem Gauranga Prabhu, they are doing PhD as per instruction of the authority to support TVAP in that particular creation, all the things. So it is, and this is required for more mission. Maybe because in future many scientists, many people will visit TVAP. So what basis we are going to do? And Prabhuji is also going to develop 5 series of books based on our Shastras, particularly 5th canto, cosmology. And in that same connection, our university also coming up in Vrindavan, Bhaktivedanta University, we are planning for that also. So Prabhuji, and my authority also asked me, Gauranga Prabhu personally told me that we should go in this direction for services. So Prabhuji, my question.
Thank you for encouraging me.
My question that this is my personal. Many times when some people come to visit temple, I ask them that ask one thing, you will get all the things remaining. So I in general recommend to ask services. How can I serve you, the Lord? And another aspect that which thing we have to ask services or devotee association, which is very, very important, which is the highest thing. Devotee association or services?
No, who is supposed to ask?
Generally, if I want to ask, or the general people want to ask, what they will ask to the Lordship, that services or devotee association, which is important, which is the high?
Okay, so now I think so. One thing is, first of all, when we speak of general people, it's slightly different. When we speak of devotees, it is slightly different. Correct? So, general people may come for different reasons. Yes, Artho, Jignasu, Artharthi, Jnani, they may come for different reasons. And then we say, okay, fine, you come anyways, whether, okay, whatever be your desire, you still come. Right? That is what we say to new people. New people, they may have so many motivations, but still we encourage them to somehow take to the process. So therefore, we cannot compare new people with devotees. Right? So now, okay, so I think so we should discuss about devotees, correct? So now if we talk about devotees, what should a devotee's aspiration be? I think so you have studied so many quotes throughout the Bhagavatam. What should be the aspiration of a devotee? You already know it.
Rudrasur prayers.
What is that?
That he is asking for devotee association. So what is
he is asking for devotee association. That is one verse, but there is another verse also. Bolo. Das anudas, das anudas. So what is that? Das anudas means what?
Services.
Service to whom?
Devotees.
To devotees. So that means if there is devotee association, what will you do in the association?
So both are parallel.
Absolutely. You cannot separate the two. If you are in devotee association, what will you do? You have to serve them. That is how we associate with devotees. We cannot separate service from association. In association we serve. That is all.
So one thing will follow another thing like that.
Yes. And so therefore, I'm not remembering exact reference, but I think so in the Chaitanya Charitamrita, somewhere, maybe in Ramananda Rai Chaitanya Mahaprabhu Samvad, where he says the most important is devotee association. Yes. So therefore, the devotee association is in one sense the most important, because bhakti begins with devotee association, bhakti is maintained by devotee association, and one achieves the goal by devotee association. So therefore, the most important is devotee association, because in devotee association, everything will happen. Of course, one should know what is meant by association. That is another point. And that is the whole subject matter of discussion for tomorrow, next chapter, 12th chapter. The whole 12th chapter is on this one topic of association of devotees.
now we are going to different programming, college, school, all the thing, but they don't have opportunity to have association of devotee, and due to that they are unable to receive the bhakti or unable to practice.
No, but you're doing the program, no, in the college. So your association.
That is 24 out of this 1 month or 1 week we are going for 2 hours or not more
but then other times you invite them here, no? So you go once a month and then you invite them, no? Or you give them your lectures and they'll hear your recorded lectures. So they continue to get association. ठीक है ना? Srila Prabhupada की जय. Okay, break. Hare Krishna. Hey, we are doing so much halla gulla here. Then online nothing is. They're all in Maun Vrat or something.
No, Prabhuji, we are very much attentively listening, but every time only if I will speak, then you will think, okay, she is only speaking, that's why I'm not speaking.
Go ahead.
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Okay. So basically in these verses, so after describing the symptoms of the conditioned, the liberated souls, so from this 18th verse onwards, basically is giving us the process to come to the liberated platform. And so therefore, that process essentially requires bhakti. So unlike the jnanis who may do a lot of study based on speculations, but no bhakti, then one cannot achieve the goal. One cannot come to the actual liberated platform. So that's what he is basically describing, the process by which one can actually come to the liberated platform. Otherwise, if there is no bhakti, then even if one comes to the liberated platform, one is going to come down. One is going to fall down again. Okay, 20th verse. Yasyam name pavanamanga karma stityudbhava prana nirodhamasya leelavatare janma vasyad vandhyam giram tam bibhryan nadhiraha.
My dear Buddha, an intelligent person should never take to literatures that do not contain descriptions of my activities, which purify the whole universe. Indeed, I create, maintain, and annihilate the entire material manifestation. Among all my pastime incarnations, the most beloved are Krishna and Balaram. Any so-called knowledge that does not recognize these activities of mine is simply barren and is not acceptable to those who are actually intelligent.
Dhiraha. So one who is dhira, then he should study only those literatures which are related to me, me pavanam. So asya leela avatara ipsita janma. So this is what one should study, one should hear, one should discuss the pastimes of the Lord, especially Krishna Balaram. And so that's how one can actually get purified. Then one will achieve the actual fruit of one's devotional practices, which is love of God. That is what one will achieve. So, a little down the purport, it is mentioned, the pure devotees of the Lord are most intelligent and expert and do not pay any attention to useless, fruitless literatures that neglect the highest truth, Lord Krishna. Although such literatures are very popular among materialistic persons all over the world, they are completely neglected by the community of pure Vaishnavas. In this verse, the Lord explains that the literatures approved for the devotees are those that glorify the Lord's pastimes as the Purusha Avatar and the Leela Avataras, culminating in the personal appearance of Lord Sri Krishna himself. Then is quoting Ramadevamurti.
This Lord Krishna Balaram are most beloved. This how means from the shloka how it is coming.
Leela Avatar Ipsita Janma. So anyway, I cannot come. Yes, it must be there somewhere. So I don't. Acha, is there in Srila Swami? Okay, so that's what. So somewhere it has to be there. Yes. So, okay, I'll read Vishwanath Chakravarti's commentary. What does it mean when the scripture should speak about you? Do you mean the scriptures indicating that Jiva and Brahman are one in statements like Tattvamasi? Or do you mean something else? Please explain this clearly to me. In those scriptures, there should be descriptions of my activities, creation, maintenance, destruction. So that's what he is saying over here. Sthiti, Udbhava, Prana Nirodham. Considering what is the superior, the Lord speaks again. The scripture should describe among the Leela Avataras my birth, which is most auspicious for the universe. This indicates not only Krishna's birth, but all his childhood pastimes. If the scriptures do not contain these descriptions, they are useless. The wise person will not accept such scriptures. Foolish persons will. So if it is interpreted by the impersonalists, then it is useless, no? The Tattvamasi is, the thing is correct, but then one must have the correct understanding. Otherwise it is useless. Okay, 21. Evam jigyasaya poya nanatva brahmamatmani uparamatmeta virajam manomayarpya sarvage.
Coming to this conclusion of all knowledge, one should give up false conception of material variety that one imposes upon the soul and thus sees one's material existence. The mind should be fixed on me, since I am all pervading.
Yes. So, one should give up the false conception of material variety that one imposes upon the soul. That is a misidentification of the soul with the material variety. So, as in the purport it said, although in previous verses Lord Krishna has described the lifestyle and approach of the impersonal philosophers who meditate on the distinction between matter and spirit, the Lord here rejects the path of jnana or speculation and comes to the final conclusion, that is Bhakti Yoga. The path of jnana is interesting only to one who does not know that Lord Krishna is Supreme Personality of God. Bhavanam Janmanamante. And then he's quoting Janmadhyasya Yata, and towards the end of the first paragraph, the Lord is not all pervading in the manner of air or sunlight, rather the Lord is all pervading as the absolute controller who holds in his hands the destiny of every living entity. Then he's quoting Bhakti Amam Vijanati Yavanyaschasmi Tattvataha. Okay, and the last paragraph, quoting from the Vivek, Srila Madhvacharya states that Nanatva Brahmam indicates the following illusions: considering the living entity to be the supreme, considering all living entities to be ultimately one entity without separate individuality, considering that there are many gods, thinking that Krishna is not God, and considering that the material universe is the ultimate reality. All of these illusions are called Brahma or mistakes, and such ignorance can be eliminated once by chanting of the holy names of Krishna. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Okay. 22. Yadyanisho dharayatum mano brahmani nishchalam mai sarvani karmani nirapeksha samachara.
My dear Uddhava, if you are not able to free your mind from all material disturbances and thus absorb it completely on the spiritual platform, then perform all your activities as an offering to me without trying to enjoy the fruits.
Yes. So if... Yes, correct. So, yes, from the 12th, like the 12th chapter, verses 8 to 12. Mayyeva adatsva. So here also, Mayi sarvani karmani. So if one is not able to do that, if one is not able to fix one's mind totally, then perform your activities as an offering to me, nirapeksha, without having apeksha for the fruits, without trying to enjoy the fruit. So he's saying, okay, you cannot come to the topmost platform, then at least you perform Nishkam Karma Yoga, offer the fruits.
Krishna not God. And if he chants Hare Krishna, then all this ignorance will be eliminated?
Yes. So everything begins with chanting, na? So when new person comes, does he have full faith that Krishna is God? New person comes, we tell him to chant Hare Krishna, right? So that's how his faith will increase, his understanding. Everything begins with that. Because by chanting, purification takes place. Purification takes place, sinful tendencies reduce. Then that's how he understands. Yes. So, purport. If one offers one's activities to Lord Krishna without trying to enjoy the results, one's mind becomes purified. When the mind is purified, transcendent knowledge automatically manifests. That's how one progresses from the stage of Nishkam Karma Yoga to Jnana. So, Jnana is inbuilt within detached work. Somebody knows the analogy which Baldev Vidyabhushan gives? Knowledge is inbuilt within detached work. Haan, bolo. Bolo.
So when you say dhan, it grows first, the outside things are only there actually. So that is like Nishkam Karma Yoga. As you do it, then rice grain will come in it gradually. And when the rice grain is full, then actually the karma will be gone. In the sense, that's what we do. When rice is fully grown, then we throw away the things. So
Okay, I think
that's
so.
what I remember.
You're talking about a little different Siddhanta, that when one comes to the path of bhakti, then karma is eliminated. No, what we are talking about is Gyan is inbuilt within detached work. That is what is being said over here. When the mind is purified by what? By Nishkam Karma. When the mind is purified by Nishkam Karma, transcendental knowledge automatically manifests. That means the Gyan is inbuilt within detached work. The analogy is just like lotus stem. You've seen a cross section of a lotus stem? If you take a cross section of a lotus stem, of course every stem has the same, but sometimes they even make sabji with lotus stem. So anyway, you may not have observed, it's not fully hollow. There are holes. There are many holes. So that's a cross section. In the complete stem, it is like tubes. Correct? It's like tubes. You take a cross section, it appears like holes. So those, if you remember botany, you know botany? So in botany they are called as xylem and phloem. सुना है ना अच्छी बात. No, in school everyone studies.
मेरे पास पिक्चर है यहाँ पे. You allow me to share, I can share and give me the rights to share.
Okay, you can share if you want. So any case, the point is that can you expect a lotus stem to be there without those tubes? What is it? Sure. So those tubes are inbuilt within the lotus stem, correct? So similarly, Gyan is inbuilt within detached work. Why? What is the philosophical understanding? Why is Gyan inbuilt within detached work?
Because to be detached from the work, you need the knowledge.
Okay.
You can't be, you are attached with your, when you are attached, you can't get knowledge.
Yes. So one becomes detached from the fruits because of knowledge, and when one detaches oneself from the fruits, then the knowledge increases. Yes. Why? Because the detachment from the fruits means what? Detachment from the bodily concept. Because one is detached from the fruits, one is detaching oneself from the body. And when one detaches oneself from the body, then Gyan about one's true nature, that I'm spirit soul, increases. And the other point is, when one detaches oneself from the fruits, what increases? Sattva increases. Attachment to fruits is due to Rajas. So when one detaches oneself from the fruits, Sattva increases. And Sattvat Sanjayate Jnanam. So that is why Gyan increases when one performs Nishkam Karma. Yes, this is Bhagavad Gita. But the Siddhanta is different, no? Okay.
But Prabhupada also mentions that when Sattva is Suddha, then Jnana, he becomes situated in Jnana.
Correct. Okay. Then they are quoting Brahmabhuta Prasannatma, and then it said, by absorbing the mind in the transcendental form of Lord Krishna, one can surpass the stage of ordinary transcendental knowledge by which one simply distinguishes oneself from the gross and subtle material bodies. Spiritually enriched by loving devotional service to the Lord, the mind is completely purified of all tinges of illusion. Through intense concentration on one's relationship with the personality of Godhead, one comes to the highest standard of knowledge and becomes an intimate associate of the personality of Godhead. So that's how one progresses. So Krishna is saying, okay, now you may not be on the platform of pure love, but then you begin from Nishkam Karma Yoga, and then you can gradually progress. So that's basically yoga ladder. What confusion?
Like Lord Sri Krishna mentions about Niskam Karma Yoga, Jnana Yoga for previous ages, and this Bhagavatam also. But in this age, neither Niskam Karma Yoga means able to follow people because, nor even Jnana Yoga.
Nor Ashtanga Yoga.
So then. No, but I'm saying this is not practical.
Yeah, that Prabhupada also says it's not practical.
It's not
in this
practical
age.
now.
Okay. आपको question पूछा.
Even Niskam Karma Yoga also very difficult.
Question क्या है?
So I mean to say, then all these things are removed. So the direct process is not given directly actually in the scriptures. Now, like even Varnashram, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu says that now Varnashram cannot be followed. It's not there. Okay, that is removed. That is again somebody can do Niskam Karma Yoga from there, but it's not there. Now comes the Jnana Yoga. No sannyas can take. No one can take sannyas in Kali Yuga. That is also removed now.
So I think so. The Bhagavad Gita requires some editing.
No, no, Prabhupada has given that editing. That's why I'm saying. No, but
इनका होने दो.
So that's why I'm saying कि now Krishna has not mentioned the direct path or how means.
Yoginam api sarvesham madgatena antaratmana shraddhavan bhajate yamam.
But that is not a path. I'm saying.
That's not a path. What do you mean?
Means he can begin it. So Prabhupada is mentioning. That's why I'm saying. It's mentioned, it's there, but here also Uddhava Gita is not mentioning like this is also of one path. I'm asking that way.
Okay, you're saying Bhakti is not yet mentioned.
Means from beginning till end.
Because it is coming. It is coming. Very soon it will come. So, in fact, I think so in the next verses only it is coming. Okay, see the next verse is 23-24. See, your question is being answered here only. Shraddhalur matkatha shranvan subhadra loka pavani gayan anusmaran karma janma chavi nayan muho madarte dharma kamarthan acharan madapashrayah lavate nishalam bhaktim mayuddhava sanatane. Okay, read.
Narrations of my pastimes and qualities are all auspicious and purify the entire universe. A faithful person who constantly hears, glorifies and remembers such transcendental activities, who through dramatic performances relieves my pastimes, beginning with my appearance, and who takes full shelter in me, dedicating his religious, sensual and occupational activities for my satisfaction, certainly obtains unflinching devotional service to me, the eternal personality of Godhead.
So here Krishna is speaking about Bhakti. This is direct Bhakti Krishna is speaking about. So as Vishnu Chakravarti also says, having described Jnana Yoga in 4.5 verses, the previous verses, Krishna now describes Bhakti Yoga until 11, 12, 15. Okay? Yes. The ending on Shraddhalu indicates a natural faith. This excludes mixture of jnana or karma. Placing this word at the beginning indicates that such natural faith is the qualification of bhakti. Then he's quoting this yadrichya madkatado jata shraddhastuya puman. Okay? So that's, and then basically then he's talking about the different items of bhakti. So the different items of bhakti, matkatha shrinvan, that is Subhadra, Lokapavani, Gayan, Anusmaran, Karma, Janma, Abhinayan, dramas, very important, dramas. Yes, Muho, again and again. Madarte, but ultimately everything is for Krishna's pleasure. Dharma, Kama, Artha. So everything one can do. But then ultimately, if one performs all this, apashrayaha, taking shelter of me, then labate, what one gets? Nishalam bhaktim mayi. So then one, by performing all these different activities, one can come to the point of Nishala bhakti. Okay, so I think so this is pretty simple to understand. There's nothing complicated here. Okay. And the 25th verse, that is the last verse of this section on the symptoms of the conditioned and the liberated souls. So finally, Lord Krishna has come to the point of pure devotional service, whereby or by which one can come to the liberated platform. And so, as Balabhadra Prabhu was asking, so where can one perform pure devotional service? Satsanga labdhaya bhaktya mayi mam saupasita savai me darshitam sabdir anjasa vindate padam.
One who has obtained pure devotional service by association with my devotees always engages in worshipping me. Thus, he very easily goes to my abode, which is revealed by my pure devotees.
Yes, so satsanga. So where one will get devotional service? Satsanga. In the association of devotees, labdhaya bhaktya. So only in the association of devotees, one can get bhakti unto the Supreme Lord. And in this way, anjasa vindate padam. Very easily one can approach the abode of the Supreme Lord. So in the purport it's mentioned, in the previous verses, Lord Krishna has emphasized the value of surrendering to Him in loving service. One may ask how such surrender or devotion is actually achieved. How such surrender or devotion is actually achieved. That is the answer here. The Lord gives the answer in this verse. One must live in the society of devotees, and thus automatically one will be engaged 24 hours a day in the various processes of devotion. That's what we were saying. So when the association is there, then everything else will follow. And therefore Srila Prabhupada has given great stress to association of devotees, and for devotees within ISKCON, remaining within ISKCON in the association of devotees. Srila Prabhupada's... Yes? Yes, that goes without saying. Yes. Yes, 24 hours a day doing service. So anyone knows some very powerful quotes of Srila Prabhupada emphasizing remaining within ISKCON and practicing devotional service in the association? Okay, that is there.
One in Chaitanya Charitamrita, where Prabhupada says, even if you think all devotees are neophyte in ISKCON,
yes,
he should associate with his Guru,
yes,
and continue.
Reference?
This is Chaitanya Charitamrita, 15, Madhya Lila, 15 chapters.
No. This is Chaitanya Charitamrita, Madhya Lila, 19th chapter, text 157. Very classic purports. Even if one thinks there are only pseudo-devotees or non-devotees within this society, that is International Society of Krishna Consciousness, still one must stick to the society. And then, okay, if you think everyone is pseudo-devotee, non-devotee, not worth associating, then you associate with your spiritual master and follow his instructions. So that's how Srila Prabhupada has emphasized remaining within ISKCON, for ISKCON devotees. And another good quote is?
ISKCON is my body?
No. We are looking for Shastric quotes. So 4.9.11. 4.9.11. This is again famous verse, Dhruva Maharaj's prayers. Yes. So in that purport, Srila Prabhupada writes, anyone who thinks he can practice Krishna consciousness outside this society is simply living in a hallucination. It is impossible. Impossible. Yes. So that's how Srila Prabhupada is emphasized. And of course, we know His Holiness Bhaktacharya Maharaj repeated so many times, one of the instructions which he received from Srila Prabhupada was, never leave ISKCON. Who's that? Gopal Krishna is, yes. Yes, correct. So,
in Bhagavatam, Satan Prasangam Mama Veera Samvedo.
yes, that's there. Okay. So, further down, the pure devotees of the Lord can reveal the spiritual world by their transcendental sound vibration, making it possible for even a neophyte devotee to experience the Lord's abode. Being thus enlivened, the neophyte makes further progress and gradually becomes qualified to personally serve the personality of Godhead in the spiritual world. By constantly associating with devotees and learning from them about devotional service, one quickly achieves a deep attachment for the Lord and the Lord's service, and such attachment gradually matures into pure love of Godhead. Okay. And then he says, foolish persons say that various mantras composed of names of God as well as all other mantras are merely material creations with no special value, and therefore any so-called mantra or mystical process will ultimately produce the same result. To refute such superficial thinking, the Lord here describes the signs of going back home, back to Godhead. One should not accept the bad association of impersonalists who state that the holy name, form, qualities and pastimes of the Lord are Maya or illusion. So, yes, so one should not associate with the impersonalists on these types of people. And one should only associate with devotees. So coming back to your question, so why Krishna has described all these other processes? To ultimately come to bhakti, so why he has described it? As you yourself said, it's not practical, it's not possible. Then why he has described?
Because there are many points of entry. People are at different levels.
Okay, different peoples are at different levels, but still it's not practical.
Why is it not practical? It's
Shastras
practical
can be
for those.
understood only by Guru's guidance. Shastra will not reveal.
Okay. So Srila Prabhupada gives the answer to this in the purport to 647, Bhagavad Gita. Srila Prabhupada writes there. What is that? Please read, somebody read.
6.
Bhagavad Gita 647. Yogi Namapi Sarvesham. So it comes in the second paragraph, I suppose. Yes. Karma Yogi or Jnana Yogi, yes. Yes, there's no problem.
Shall I read?
Read.
Which purport? Or niche?
No, not last paragraph. It is in the second.
The culmination of all kinds of yoga practices lies in Bhakti Yoga. All other yogas are but the means to come to the point of Bhakti in Bhakti Yoga. Yoga actually means Bhakti Yoga. All other yogas are progressions towards the destination of Bhakti Yoga. From the beginning of the Karma Yoga to the end of Bhakti Yoga is a long way to self-realization. Karma Yoga without fruitive result is the beginning of this path. When Karma Yoga increases in knowledge and renunciation, the stage is called Jnana Yoga. When Jnana Yoga increases in meditation on the Supersoul by different physical processes and the mind is on him, it is called Ashtanga Yoga. And when one surpasses the Ashtanga Yoga and comes to the point of the Supreme Personality of Godhead Krishna, it is called Bhakti Yoga, the culmination. Factually, Bhakti Yoga is the ultimate goal, but to analyze Bhakti Yoga minutely, one has to understand these other yogas.
Yes, that's the point. To analyze Bhakti Yoga, one has to study all these other yogas. And I think so there's one more point. Read next sentence.
The yogi who is progressive is therefore on the true path of eternal good fortune. One who sticks to the particular point and does not make further progress is called by that particular name. Karma Yogi, Jnana Yogi or Dhyan Yogi, Raj Yogi, Hati Yogi, etc. If one is fortunate enough to come to the point of Bhakti Yoga, it is to be understood that he has surpassed all other yogas.
Yes. So this is one point, to analyze Bhakti Yoga minutely. And in some other place, Srila Prabhupada has also explained that by presenting all these other yoga systems, one also understands the glory of Bhakti Yoga. By comparing Bhakti Yoga with all the other yoga systems and by seeing the various challenges and defects of the other yoga systems, one can also understand the superiority of Bhakti over all the other yoga systems. So by comparative analysis. So that is the reason why all these various are present. What? Yes. That is the same point which Srila Prabhupada also writes in regarding the Shad Darshans, you were saying the other day. First canto, first chapter, 7th verse. No, that is not the point. But the point is, suppose one starts Bhakti Yoga and maybe tomorrow one hears about Ashtanga Yoga. then there is a possibility. One may think, as Srila Prabhupada does say, if somebody is told, just chant Hare Krishna, oh, will this Hare Krishna work? No, 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 no. You stand upside down, pull the nose, do this, do that, oh, that will work. There is a possibility, no? Somebody, he comes to know about Ashtanga Yoga, one may think that may work. But if one already has a knowledge of all these other yoga systems and he perfectly understands the superiority of bhakti, there is no question of deviating. So that is the reason. So then everything is presented, everything becomes clear. Why one should practice bhakti yoga is very philosophically, scientifically understood, without any doubt. That is why everything is presented. Okay, no? Okay, fine. So now we are proceeding ahead. So that's the first section of the chapter is over. Now the rest of the chapter is pretty simple to understand. Of course, not so simple to practice. Okay, so now Uddhav is asking some questions. Please read translation. I think so online nobody has read today. Online please read translation. Text 26-27.
Sri Uddhava said, My dear Lord, O Supreme Personality of Godhead, what type of person do you consider to be a true devotee? And what type of devotional service is approved by great devotees as worthy of being offered to your Lordship? My dear ruler of the universal controllers, O Lord of Vaikuntha, and Almighty God of the universe, I am your devotee, and because I love you, I have no other shelter than you. Therefore, please explain this to me.
Okay, so two questions he's asking. Because in the previous verse, what the Lord said? In the previous verse, what the Lord said? Yes, association of devotees. We were discussing that point, association of devotees. So therefore, association of devotees. So therefore, the next question is, how can I recognize a devotee? So that is the question. So how can I recognize a devotee? And what type of devotional service is approved by the great devotee? So these are the two questions which Uddhav is asking. And yes. Sadhu stavottama shloka. Okay. In the first paragraph of the purport, in the previous verse it was stated that one can achieve the Lord's supreme abode by associating with devotees. Therefore, Uddhav naturally inquires about the symptoms of a distinguished devotee whose association can promote one to the kingdom of God. Srila Jiva Goswami notes that the personality of Godhead knows who is actually a sincere devotee, because the Lord is always attached to his loving servitors. Similarly, pure devotees can expertly explain the proper methods of devotional service to Lord Krishna because they are already absorbed in love of Krishna. Uddhav herein requests Lord Krishna to describe the qualities of a devotee and asks the Lord to explain the devotional service that the devotees themselves approve as worthy to be offered to the Lord. So two things, the qualities of a devotee and the process of devotional service which is approved. Okay, and then Uddhav is also saying, okay, read next, 28.
My dear Lord, as absolute truth, you are transcendental to material nature, and like the sky, you are never entangled in any way. Still, being controlled by your devotees' love, you accept many different forms, incarnating according to your devotees' desires.
Okay, so here Uddhav is glorifying the Supreme Lord, that how the Supreme Lord is always Pritak, Purusha, Pritak, Paraha. So the Lord is never entangled, just like the sky. And but still, the Lord agrees to come in different forms, different bodies, Pritak Vapu. But of course, the Vapu is not material. But he agrees to come in different forms because of love for his devotee. There's a similar verse in Brahmaji's prayers, if you remember. Where? In the third canto. Yes, third canto, 9th chapter. In Brahma's prayers, there is a similar verse. Okay, so of course, it's being explained that even though it is said the Lord takes on different bodies, different forms, but of course we know that these forms are not material, they are all spiritual. Okay, so now from verses 29 to 32, the Lord is describing how to recognize a devotee, to whom to associate with, and He is giving a whole list of 28 qualities. So becoming devotee is not easy. One has to acquire all these qualities. Okay, and we will discuss. Shri Bhagavan Vacha Kripalura Krita Droha Stitikshu Sarvadehinam Satyasaro Anavadyatma Sama Sarvopakaraka Kame Rahat Dirdanto Mrudu Shuchira Kinchanaha Aniho Mita Bhukshanta Stiro Macharano Muni Apramatto Gabirat धृतिमाञ्जितः षड्गुणः अमानिमानद कल्यो मैत्रकारुणिककविः अज्ञेयं गुणान् दोषान् मया दिष्टानपि स्वकान् धर्मान् सन्त्यज्य यः सर्वान् मां भजेतस्तु स तु सत्तमः. Okay, translation.
The Supreme Personality of Godhead said, O Uddhava, a saintly person is merciful and never injures others. Even if others are aggressive, he is tolerant and forgiving towards all living entities. His strength and meaning in life come from the truth itself. He is free from all envy and jealousy, and his mind is equal in material happiness and distress. Thus, he dedicates his time to work for the welfare of all others. His intelligence is never bewildered by material desires, and he has controlled his senses. His behavior is always pleasing, never harsh, and always exemplary. He is free from possessiveness. He never endeavors in ordinary worldly activities, and he strictly controls his eating. He therefore always remains peaceful and steady. A saintly person is thoughtful and accepts me as his only shelter. Such a person is very cautious in the execution of his duties and is never subject to superficial transformations because he is steady and noble, even in distressing situation. He has conquered over the six material qualities, namely hunger, thirst, lamentation, illusion, old age, and death. He is free from all desire for prestige and offers honor to others. He is expert in reviving the Krishna consciousness of others and therefore never cheats anyone. Rather, he is a well-wishing friend to all, being most merciful. Such a saintly person must be considered the most learned of men. He perfectly understands that the ordinary religious duties prescribed by me in various Vedic scriptures possess favorable qualities that purify the performer, and he knows that neglect of such duties constitutes a discrepancy in one's life. Having taken complete shelter at my lotus feet, however, a saintly person ultimately renounces such ordinary religious duties and worships me alone. He is thus considered to be the best among all living entities.
Yes. So in the purport, verses 29 to 31 describe 28 qualities of a saintly person, and verse 32 explains the highest perfection of life. So the last verse here, so that is talking about Mam bhajeta sa tu sattamaha. Sattama means the topmost. Sattamaha, the best among saintly persons. So according to Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur, the 17th quality, Mat Sharana, or taking complete shelter of Lord Krishna, is the most important, and the other 27 qualities automatically appear in one who has become a pure devotee of the Lord. Yes, Asti Bhakti. So the same thing is also said in connection to the 26 qualities of Vaishnava. Yes, Krishna Eka Sharanam. That is said to be the Swarup Lakshan, and all the other qualities are Tatastha Lakshan, as by Bhaktivedanta Thakur. And the same thing Srila Prabhupada also writes in what you said, Bhagavad Gita 13th chapter verses 8 to 12. They are also in those, the items of knowledge. So they are also, the most important amongst all of them is, what? Yes, so basically the same point, taking shelter of Krishna. So that is the most important. If that is there, then all the other qualities will automatically appear. Same thing, there are also 26 qualities of Vaishnava. 26 qualities of Vaishnava. Okay. So there is a brief description about each of these qualities. So you can read that yourself. We're not going into those details. Okay, I would just like to read the last part of Vishwanath Thakur's commentary on the verse. He says, he's describing verse 32, that is the last verse. Okay, before that, in this purport here, in the book here, so this is the second last paragraph. In the second last paragraph, it's mentioned, there is nothing lacking in the process of pure devotional service, and there's no need for any extraneous endeavor to acquire sense pleasure or philosophical satisfaction. One must be completely convinced that simply by serving Krishna, one will get all perfection in life. That is the definition of Shraddha. Shraddha shabde vishwasa kohe sudhra nishchay Krishna bhakti koile sarva karma krita hoy. Even if one lacks some or all of the above mentioned qualities, one should sincerely engage in Lord Krishna's service, and gradually one's character will become perfect. One who is a sincere devotee of Lord Krishna will develop all godly qualities by the mercy of the Lord, not simply by one's own endeavor. Endeavor is required, but ultimately the qualities developed by the mercy of the Lord. And one who is already serving the Lord with the above mentioned qualities is to be understood as the greatest devotee. Okay, so now coming to Vishwanath Thakur's commentary, the last part. Verse 32 describes the devotee practicing pure bhakti. So he says the other qualities could be there also in mixed devotees, those who are practicing bhakti mixed with karma and jnana. But this last verse is describing one who is practicing only pure bhakti. It has been said that one who does not give up dharma is the best. But he who gives up all dharmas completely because of faith in bhakti to me is the best. As Krishna says, sarva dharman parityajya. So one who gives up all other dharmas. So one who has complete faith that I just need to have faith in Krishna, nothing else. No faith in any other thing. So therefore, faith in any types of karma, jnana, or even things like astrology or any of the other Vedic sciences, if they are conducive to practice of pure bhakti, it is fine. But otherwise, everything else is to be rejected. That is the meaning of sarva dharma parityajya. Not that, maybe those other processes also required for bhakti. If I don't do, how can I practice bhakti? No, that's not the case. So then that's a contamination actually. But he who gives up all dharmas completely because of faith in bhakti to me is the best. But does he give up dharma because of ignorance or atheism? No. Understanding the good points in performing dharma, such as purification of existence, and also understanding the bad points with firm faith that all things are perfected by bhakti to me, he gives up those dharmas. That is the meaning given by Sridhar Swami. A person of lower qualification will worship the Lord without giving up dharma. But the best devotee, however, worships the Lord while giving up all dharmas. Okay, so well-known example, which Srila Prabhupada also says about Yudhishthira Maharaj, who wanted to maintain the dharma of, speaking the truth. So there is also one dharma, speaking the truth. But then when Krishna is giving instruction, then all dharmas to hell. So just like the gopis are giving up all social dharmas, all types of dharma they are giving up when Krishna calls. But the best devotee, however, worships the Lord while giving up all dharmas. The person who develops all the qualities, starting with compassion as mentioned above, is considered the best. But the last sentence, which indicates the best devotee, does not include the qualities previously mentioned. How could a person without those qualities be considered the best? One should not worry that the person who performs only bhakti does not possess those qualities. For it is said, Bhakti parishanubhav virakti ranyatra chesa trika ek. क्या पूछ रहे? But one should not worry. But the best devotee, however, worships the Lord while giving up all dharmas. The person who develops all the qualities, starting with compassion mentioned above, is considered the best. But the last sentence, which indicates the best devotee, does not include the qualities previously mentioned. How could a person without those qualities be considered the best. So he's saying the last sentence, what is the last sentence? Which indicates the best devotee does not include the qualities previously mentioned. No? He's saying this last part does not include all the previous qualities. So that is the question he is raising. The question that he is raising is, that this last part, this last one, that is this dharman santyajya ya sarvan mam bhajeta satu sattama. So he's saying this is indicating the best devotee, but this is not including all the previous qualities. That's what he's saying. So how could a person without those qualities be considered the best? That is the question he's asking. So then he's answering that question by saying, one should not worry that the person who performs only bhakti does not possess those qualities. For it is said, then he's quoting this Bhakti Parishan Viraktir, and then he's also quoting Yasyasti Bhaktir Bhagavati Akinchana. And so therefore, and then final conclusion is, he who reaches the highest stage is the best, since he becomes endowed with all good qualities while destroying all bad qualities. So if one surrenders to the Supreme Law, then it is to be understood that he will automatically have all the other good qualities. But even without reaching the perfect stage, that means he does not have all the good qualities, the devotee at the state of sadhana should also be considered the best. He is better than the previously mentioned devotees because from the beginning he has accepted pure bhakti. So if somebody accepts pure bhakti, then it's just a matter of time that the good qualities will manifest. So therefore, if that much sharana is there, Krishna Eka Sharanam, if that is there, then all the other qualities will automatically develop, even though they may not be present right now. Yes. So, somebody else may have the good qualities, like for example, a Karma Mishra Bhakta, Jnana Mishra Bhakta, or even a Jnani may have those good qualities. And somebody may say, oh, and sometimes we do find, sometimes when a devotee gets angry with some other devotees, he may say, Arey, karmi log bhi acha hai, ye kya hai? So one may pass a comment like that. So, and sometimes we do find, even a karmi may have some good qualities, very well behaved, and speak so politely, and very clean, and all those things he may have. So, and from an external viewpoint, one may feel that he is better than devotee. So what is the problem? What is the problem with all these other persons having those good qualities? What is the problem?
They are not surrendered to Krishna.
Okay, so but they have the good qualities.
They don't have the inclination to serve Krishna.
So what? But they have good qualities.
They are not going out of this birth and death cycle. They are not going back to Godhead.
Okay, fine. That is now whether devotee also will go out, that we don't know. That is in the future.
But at least they will help.
Exactly.
Not keeping Krishna has all bad qualities.
Why? Why do you say that?
Yasyasti bhagavati akinchana sarvai gunais tatra samaskrishna harava bhaktasya kuto mahad.
Verse is there, but what is the explanation? Why do you say that, okay, even if he has those good qualities, they're actually bad qualities? Why do you say that?
Subtle body will not be visible. Mind, the anarthas in the mind and intelligence will not be visible to everyone. When it is philosophy and everything, that will be exposed.
Okay, fine, that's one understanding. Okay, you have the mic, how to speak?
Actually, although some people may possess good qualities, but actually they are because of some selfish motives. Unless he worships Krishna, it cannot be ahetuki.
Okay.
They may show good quality, nationality, all this altruism, but there has some selfish motive, and it will be exposed in due course of time.
Okay, that's a good point. Okay, fine. They could have some selfish motive. Huh?
With slight provocation, they will give up that quality is not sure.
Yes.
Some money they get or some bribe, then they are ready to give up.
Correct. With slight provocation, they can give up the good quality. Yes, comes.
He said, just Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur explains, the devatas sit in their heart. Actually, but they are seeing these fellows today, they are serving us, tomorrow they will not serve us because they will become gyanis. So they stay with the bad qualities along with the good qualities.
Acha.
This is same purport of Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur. But in devotee's heart, they stay with the good qualities without bad qualities. He gives example of Rudra. So Rudra will sit in heart of a devotee without false ego. So he will not become proud. So like that, they are very the qualities are there today, gone tomorrow. Whereas devotees, they will go on and they will go on refining more and more.
Yes, good. So motive, basically. Yes.
Inspire. And the quality in devotees, they are coming naturally by understanding his own position as a servant of Lord. And due to the interference of Lord in his life, this quality is manifesting to attract people toward the devotee, ultimately to Lord.
Right.
Like Srila Prabhupada demonstrated all this because before Srila Prabhupada started preaching, no one knows about Lord Krishna. And through Srila Prabhupada preaching and everything, everyone attracted to the Lord.
Yes. So one could have good qualities because of motive. And so if somebody else has these good qualities, mostly they are due to sattva gun. Correct? Mostly they are due to sattva gun. But is sattva gun steady on the material platform? No. So there is always rajas and tamas waiting. So therefore that's what we find in this world. So sometimes we find a child is very brahmanical and he has nice good qualities, but then he goes to the school and college, then what happens? Finished. So why? Because qualities on sattva cannot be steady, because always contaminated with rajas and tamas. So therefore, as we just read this purport here, as they very rightly mentioned, so ultimately the good qualities manifest by the Lord's grace when the purification takes place. So when the purification takes place by the process of devotional service, then the natural good qualities of the soul manifest, and that is on the steady platform. So therefore ultimately it's only a devotee who can steadily manifest the good qualities. And therefore ultimately if one is a devotee having taken shelter of the Supreme Lord, then all the good qualities will automatically manifest, even though at present those qualities may not be present. And so therefore one must never think that a non-devotee, whoever it may be, is better than a devotee. That is totally against the Siddhanta. So even if a devotee may not have some good qualities now, if he continues his devotional service properly, then it's just a matter of time. And so therefore, in the Madhurya Upani, Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur talks about about Nishtha. So he talks about two types. And so therefore he says that the steadiness, so when one has steadiness in the core practices of devotional service, so that is considered to be real steadiness. So the steadiness cannot be judged on the basis of simply the good qualities. So good qualities may be there, may not be there. But if somebody has steadiness in core devotional practices of Shravanam, Kirtanam, Smaranam, then that will purify the devotee, and eventually all the good qualities will definitely manifest. But if the core devotional practices are not good, and somebody may have good qualities because of sattva, because of previous karmas and things like that, but those cannot be steady. But if one is practicing pure devotional service steadily, then the purification will take place, then the natural good qualities of the soul manifest. So therefore, that is to be given priority. So therefore, here also the same discussion.
These qualities are the qualities of the soul.
Yes, they are the natural qualities of the soul, and now they are all covered by the material contamination.
And also, are they qualities of the devotional attitude? Means bhakti also are added in that?
So everything is included, na?
No, here the differentiation is made. These devotees, here Vaishnavas only are spoken, na? Like till 31st slokas, and then later the one who has taken to pure devotional service, his qualities are better.
Yeah, because of the pure devotional service, then other qualities will automatically manifest. That is what is being explained. So the others may have good qualities due to sattva, but when one practices pure devotional service and one gets purified of the material contamination, then the natural good qualities of the soul manifest.
So here it is talked about two kind of Vaishnavas. One is taking to pure devotional service, one is taking to mixed devotional service. So both are Vaishnavas here, is mentioned.
Yes.
So the quality which are developing, one is taking to pure devotional service are better and you can say like constant, steady. But others will not be steady.
Correct.
We are discussing this thing.
Correct. That's right.
But still they can be called Vaishnavas.
Yes, they can be called Vaishnavas, and if they also come to the platform of pure devotional service, then they'll become purified. Right. Okay. So let's proceed now. 33rd verse. Gyatva gyatvata ye vaimam yavanyasyasmi yadrishaha bhajantyananya bhavena te me bhaktatamamataha. Online?
My devotees may or may not know exactly what I am, who I am, and how I exist. But if they worship me with unalloyed love, then I consider them to be the best of devotees.
Yes. So here Krishna is saying that they may not know everything about me. They may not know yadrisha, yavan, yaha, cha, asmi, yadrisha. Okay, they not know exactly who am I, what am I, how I exist. So they may not know exactly all these philosophical details. But if bhajanti ananya bhavena, if that is there, then they are bhakta tamaha. Yes, mataha. So, purport according to Srila Vishwanath Thakur, although yavan indicates that Lord Krishna cannot be limited by time or space, he becomes limited by the love of his pure devotees. For example, Lord Krishna never steps 1 foot out of Vrindavan because of the intense love of his inhabitants for him. In this way, the Lord comes under the control of his devotees' love. The word Yaha indicates that Krishna is the absolute truth who appears as son of Vasudeva or as Shyam Sundar. Yadrisha indicates that Lord is Atmaram or completely self-satisfied. Also Aptakam, one who automatically fulfills all his desires. Still, now this is the love of Krishna towards his pure devotees. Even though he is Atmaram or Aptakam, but still he gives up his Atmaram and Aptakam to reciprocate with his devotees. Still being affected by the love of his devotee, the Lord sometimes appears to be an-Atmaram or dependent on the love of his devotees, and an-Aptakam, unable to achieve his desire without the cooperation of his devotees. Actually, the Supreme Lord Krishna is always independent, but he reciprocates the intense love of his devotees and thus appears to be dependent on them, just as he apparently became dependent on Nanda Maharaj and Yashoda during his childhood pastimes in Vrindavan. So this is the exalted position of these devotees. So the exalted position of the devotee is, so just like the Brajvasis, they never understood, or at least their love, their knowledge of Krishna's opulence was covered by the love, and they did not understand Krishna as God and all those things. But still Krishna reciprocated with their love. So also the example of Arjuna is being given. So as quoting from the 11th chapter of the Bhagavad Gita. After seeing the universal form, as we know, Arjuna begs for forgiveness. That I did not know that you're so great, and Saketi matva prasabam yaduktam, hey Krishna, hey Yadava, hey Saketi, ajanata mahimanam tavedam. Because I did not know your mahima, so therefore I treated you like a sakha, like an ordinary friend. So that is being explained. Arjuna's words ajanata mahimanam have the same meaning as Krishna's words agyatva mam in this verse of the Bhagavatam. Both indicate incomplete understanding of Krishna's glories. In Bhagavad Gita, Arjuna says pranayena, his forgetfulness of Krishna's supreme position was caused by his love for him. In this verse, Krishna excuses such lapses on the part of his devotee with the words Agyatva Mam, which indicate that even though devotees may not fully appreciate his exalted position, Krishna accepts their loving service. Thus, this verse clearly reveals the supreme position of Bhakti. And then he's quoting this, Bhakti Atvananya Shakya. Further, although one may develop innumerable saintly qualities, without love of Krishna, one will not achieve complete success. One must understand the personality of Godhead as he is and love him. Even if one is not capable of analytically understanding the position of God, if one simply loves Krishna, then one is certainly perfect. So somehow, if one comes to the platform of loving Krishna, then that's perfection. Many of the residents of Vrindavan had no idea that Krishna is Supreme Personality of Godhead, nor did they know of Krishna's potencies or incarnations. They simply loved Krishna with their hearts and souls, and therefore they are considered most perfects. So this is the answer to the first question which Uddhava asked. What is that? What is the first question? Yes, how to recognize a devotee. That was the first question. And what was the second question?
What type of bhakti?
Yes, what type of bhakti is taught by the great devotees? And now from these verses 34 to 41. So this is the process. So somebody please read the translation.
Hare Krishna. So, my dear Uddhava, one can give up false pride and prestige by engaging in the following devotional service. One may purify oneself by seeing, touching, worshipping, serving, and offering prayers of glorification and obeisances to my form as a deity and to my pure devotees. One should also glorify my transcendental qualities and activities here with love and faith, the narration of my glories, and constantly meditate on me. One should offer to me whatever one acquires and accept oneself as my eternal servant. One should give oneself completely to me. One should always discuss my birth and activities and enjoy life by participating in the festivals such as Janmashtami, which glorify my pastimes. In my temple, one should also participate in the festival ceremonies by singing, dancing, playing musical instruments, and discussing me with other Vaishnavas. One should observe all the regularly celebrated annual festival by attending ceremonies, pilgrimage, and making offering. One should also observe religious vows such as Ekadasi and take initiation by procedure mentioned in the Vedas, Pancharatra and others. Similar literatures. One should faithfully and lovingly support the installation of my deity, and individually or in cooperation with the others, one should work for the construction of Krishna Consciousness temple and cities, as well as flowers, fruit gardens, special areas to celebrate my pastimes. One should consider oneself to be my humble servant without duplicity, thus should help to clean the temple, which is my home. First, one should sweep and dust thoroughly, then one should further clean with water and cow dung. Having dried the temple, one should sprinkle scented water and decorate the temple with mandalas. One should thus act just like my servant. A devotee should never advertise his devotional activities. Therefore, his service will not be cause of false pride. One should never use lamb that are offered to me for other purposes simply because there is a need of illumination. And similarly, one should never offer to me anything that has been offered or used by others. Whatever is most desired by one within this material world and whatever is most dear to oneself, one should offer that very thing to me. Such an offering qualify one for the eternal life.
So there's the process that Krishna has given. And of course, by the mercy of Srila Prabhupada, I think so we're following everything. Correct? Everything is being perfectly followed. That's how, just by remaining within ISKCON, we are following Krishna's instructions.
Perfectly.
Yes, that's right.
Guruji,
So,
one-
in that point, in fact, in the purport also they're explaining that point. The word Deepavalokam, this is the last paragraph, Deepavalokam me nopayunjan niveditam indicate that one may never use the deity's paraphernalia for sense gratification. That is the point. If there's a shortage of electricity or lights, one may not use the deity's lamps, nor should one ever offer to Lord Krishna paraphernalia previously offered to or used by others. Huh?
General Prabhuji, we are going to different programs. They will give some bouquet, something. So, can we offer it to Lord after coming back to temple?
If it is unoffered,
means they will directly give to us.
No, I don't think so.
So they are giving to us.
We are not accepting only, they may give, but we are accepting to give to Krishna.
That's okay, Prabhuji. Because we are taking just offering back, coming back to temple and giving to deities or Srila Prabhupada.
We are not smelling. Yeah. Actually, see.
She offered her own Lakshmi to Lord. She was using it, but she offered it.
Oh, okay, those are little exceptions. So, but I feel the best offering is when the person offers with the intention of giving to the Lord. That is best.
And if we receive on the behalf of Lord that I am the servant, whatever I am receiving, you just give it to Lord. That is also okay.
But if he has smelled.
No. No, if somebody has smelled, then obviously we can't offer.
And those who make bouquet, how they make it?
No, that we also purchase flowers from outside only, na? So therefore we purify them before offering. Therefore we purify them before offering. Yes, everything we purchase from outside only, flowers, fruits, we don't know, and so on. We don't know in the markets, they may be stepping on it or what
they step on all the gonis and all, what you know. Prabhuji, anybody is offering anything to devotee never accepts. He only gives to, even somebody is offering me pranam. I say he is offering pranam to Krishna, not to me.
Correct. That is correct. Yes. Okay, fine, we'll proceed now. So the next question arises, where should I worship you? And so Lord is giving 11 places of worship in the next verse. Suryo Agni Brahmana Gavo Vaishnava Kammarujalam Bhuratma Sarva Bhutani Bhadra Puja Padani Me.
O saintly Uddhava, please know that you may worship me in the sun, fire, brahmanas, cows, Vaishnavas, sky, wind, water, earth, individual soul and all living entities.
Okay, so now how to offer worship in all these places? That is what is being described in the next verses, 43 to 45. Read the translation. I think so online will give, so many devotees are there online. Please read translation 43 to 45.
My dear Uddhava, one should worship me within the sun by chanting selected Vedic mantras and by performing worship and offering obeisances. One may worship me within fire by offering oblations of ghee, and one may worship me among the brahmanas by respectfully receiving them as guests, even when uninvited. I can be worshipped within the cows by offerings of grass and other suitable grains and paraphernalia for the pleasure and the health of cows. And one may worship me within the Vaishnavas by offering loving friendship to them and honoring them in all respects. Through steady meditation, I am worshipped within the inner space of the heart. And within the air, I can be worshipped by the knowledge that prana, the life air, is the chief among elements. I am worshipped within the water by offerings of water itself, along with other elements such as flowers and tulasi leaves. And one may worship me within the earth by proper application of confidential seed mantras, one may worship me within the individual living entity by offering food and other enjoyable substances. And one may worship me within all the living entities by seeing the super soul within all of them, thus maintaining equal vision.
Okay, so everything is quite clear. One point in the purport here, by maintaining steady consciousness of the Lord in His all-pervading feature, one can remain in a worshipful mood 24 hours a day. Good point. So if one is able to see Krishna everywhere, then one will always be in a worshipful mode. Thus one will naturally try to engage all material and spiritual elements in the loving service of Lord Krishna. Okay. So, okay, 46. Dishniyeshvaitiyeshu madrupam shankachakra gadambujay yuktam chaturbujam shantam dhyayan archet samahitaha. Read online. Jaldi padho.
May I?
No, there are so many others.
I will read through this.
Thus, in the previously mentioned places of worship and according to the processes I have described, one should meditate on my peaceful transcendental form with 4 arms holding a conch shell, Sudarshan disc, club and lotus flower. In this way, one should worship me with fixed attention.
See, Arjuneshwar Prabhu, my suggestion is, this is what we usually do in most online classes. In online classes, alphabetically, they should read. So, there should be a coordinator online who assigns the order, and they should be reading in alphabetical order. So there is no confusion who is supposed to read next.
If you assign them number, what it does, when they log in, they have to show their number 1, 2, 3, 4.
Okay, that's another thing. But at least one order can be there, which all of them know, which should be sent to all of them, that this is the order of reading alphabetically, and that list should be made alphabetically and sent to all of them. So all of them know whose turn comes next. So there's no confusion. And then everyone participates, and then everyone knows they're supposed to read. Yes, you make the list alphabetically, only those online devotees. And then, or if you want, you can make another coordinator amongst those, and then that person can do that. Okay, fine. So in this way, so here the Lord is saying that one should meditate on my form, holding Shankha Chakra Gada Padma, and worship me with fixed attention. So the word samahita from the purport, in the middle of the purport. Okay, and one point before that. One should not be puffed up and claim that because one is meditating on the Lord within nature, there's no need to go to the temple. So that's Mayavad theory. Temple worship has been repeatedly emphasized by the Lord Himself. The word samahita in this verse indicates samadhi. If one very carefully worships the deity or hears and chants about the pastimes of Lord Krishna, one is certainly in samadhi. By worshipping and glorifying the Lord 24 hours a day, one becomes a liberated soul and gradually rises completely beyond the influence of the material creation. Okay, 47. Ishtapurtena mamevam yo yajeta samahita labate mai sadbhaktim matsmriti sadhu sevaya.
One who has executed sacrificial performances and pious works for my satisfaction, and who thus worships me with fixed attention, obtains unflinching devotional service unto me. By the excellent quality of his service, such a worshipper obtains realized knowledge of me.
Okay, so he explains, so if one does devotional service like this, what will be the result? Labate mayim sad bhaktim mat smriti sadhu sevaya. So this will be the result. One will obtain unflinching devotional service and realize knowledge of me. That will be the results. So what is the very nice point in the purport? What is the symptom of one who is realized? A realized devotee is very attentive in his devotional service, taking it as his life and soul. So that is the symptom of one who has realization. So one who has realized the importance of bhakti, then obviously he'll be attentive because he has understood the importance of bhakti and the glory of bhakti. He keeps himself fit for devotional service by constantly worshipping and glorifying the lotus feet of the spiritual master and the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Such Harinam, Kirtan and Guru Puja are the only practical methods by which one can achieve pure devotional service. When Hari Kirtan is expanded, it is called Krishna Kirtan. One should not dry up by performing unauthorized austerities or sacrifices. Rather, one should engage with all enthusiasm in the great sacrifice of Sri Krishna Sankirtan, which enables one to easily achieve the highest perfection of human life. Okay. Prayena bhakti yogena satsangena vinodhava nopayo vidyate samyak prayanam hi satamaham. Pardon?
My dear Uddhav, I am personally the ultimate shelter and way of life for saintly liberated persons. And thus, if one does not engage in my loving devotional service, which is made possible by associating with my devotees, then for all practical purposes, one possesses no effective means for escaping from material existence.
Okay, so Lord is saying if one does not practice devotional service like this, then there is no means of escaping from this miserable material world. Wait, we are going to finish first. And the last verse. Ataitat paramam guhyam shrunvato yadunandana sugopyam api vakshyami tvam me bhritya surit sakha.
My dear Uddhav, beloved of Yadurvasti, because you are my well-wisher and friend, I shall now speak to you the most confidential knowledge. Please hear as I explain these great mysteries to you.
Okay, so now he's going to further explain about pure devotional service. In the purport it said, Sri Uddhava has completely surrendered to Lord Krishna, and then only could the Lord explain such mysteries to him, because without complete faith, the transmission of spiritual knowledge is impossible. Other processes of self-realization such as philosophical speculation are imperfect and unsteady because the performer has personal desires and there is no definite procedure by which to obtain the full mercy of the Supreme Lord. On the other hand, association with the pure devotees of the Lord is a self-sufficient process that is guaranteed to award the desired results. One must only learn how to associate with the pure devotees and one's life will be perfect. That is the sum and substance of this chapter. Thus end the purports of the humble servants of His Divine Grace, His Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada, to the 11th canto, 11th chapter of the Srimad Bhagavatam entitled The Symptoms of the Conditioned and Liberated Living Entities. Srila Prabhupada ki jai, Granthra Srimad Bhagavatam ki jai, Samved Gaur Bhaktivedanta ki jai. Thank you very much. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Thank you very much. So tomorrow is Ekadashi. So,
discuss pure devotional service.
yes, definitely. So what should be the timing? No, but 12:30 Prasadam.
Little bit big. That's what we do other time.
No, why not? My suggestion is 10 to 12:30. There's no Prasad in the morning, right? So we can start at 10. Yes, 10 to 12:30.
Class goes on.
Tomorrow is Thursday, Srila Prabhupada's class. 12:30. 12:30. In fact, yes, practically it becomes 12:45. So till 12:30 we can have class because practically it starts at 12:45 only. So tomorrow's class timings is announced.
Tomorrow class timing will be 10 to 12:30.
No, you should be very specific. 10 a.m. to 12:30 p.m.
10 a.m. to 12:30 p.m. And no break will be there.
Okay, we can give 5 minutes break if you want, but
No.
नहीं हो गया 2.5 घंटे बहुत हो गया प्रसाद के बाद समाधि Hare Krishna. Srila Prabhupada ki jai.